Hey.
We're live.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hola.
We didn't come up with anything after hi,
Yeah.
did we?
Does anyone have an intro or like, hey, welcome to the show?
All right,
gang?
I'll intro it. This is No Major Opinions. A few of us thought, hey, maybe it'd be fun to make a podcast, so we're doing it. It's just gonna be on the NASA channel. Just as a heads up, we're kind of rough on the edges here. First time doing this shit, so if it ends up being a bag of crap, hang with us for a couple episodes.
If it sucks, keep watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Also, I highly doubt all 8 of us will be in every single episode going forward. So
Yeah, we're gonna have probably a max of 4 people on at a time for future episodes. This is just sort of a get to know everyone sort of deal. I guess the first thing we'll talk about is what this show is gonna be about and who's gonna be the hosts, the people you see here. Basically, we just want to talk shit about speedrunning or whatever the hell we've been doing the past whatever. So yeah, let's get to people then. Might know me. I'm Nagleria. Speedrun a few games. Made NASA.
Who?
So let's get to the next. Let's say I'll choose it. Let's go our boy Dark Fox. Introduce yourself.
I think he died.
Did Dark Fox die?
Yo, what's
Yeah.
up, guys? I'm Dark Fox 36. Dead
Wow.
Rising 4.
Alright. Alright, it's fine. I'm here. I think my Discord died for a second. Anyway, hi.
amazing.
Perfect.
That's a great intro.
A number
I got-
1.
I got all the information I need from that.
Yeah.
Hi.
Well, I mean, I didn't hear the end of what he said at all.
I was
I
just
just
gonna
heard
say,
my name.
introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, I'm Dark Fox 36. I suck at video games. Keep going.
All right, Two Worlds, what's up?
Yo, what's up? I'm Two Worlds, the professional speed gamer. I am Twitch affiliate, which means I'm basically a full-time god gamer. So, yeah.
Caveman, what's up?
Hey, greetings from the leader of the PlayStation Nation. It's your boy, Caveman, DCJ, God's gift to gaming, the most prolific PS1 speedrunner on the planet. More alliteration. How often are we doing this podcast?
Bi-weekly.
Once a
Bi-week,
month?
every 2
Bi-weekly,
weeks.
shit.
That's why we
Every
have 8
month.
of us. Yeah.
I'll be here sometimes complaining about things that I don't like, and you guys will like it.
CFB, what's up?
Hey, my name's CFB. I'm a full-time JRPG Let's Player. I'm also a Twitch affiliate. Welcome to the club, Two Worlds. I hope we can parlay this into Twitch fame and fortune together.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I hope so as well.
Sellouts,
That's my number one
disgusting.
priority.
Let Laser Long give us some purity.
Hey there, boys. You might know me as the man with the speed plans. I've done speedruns since 2013. I'm the purest boy on the block. You can go look at my list of speed games, and you know that I'm the most honest and pure runner in this entire, I guess, Zoom or Discord, really.
Thank you. Dark Aries, what's up?
Not much. Probably almost nobody knows who I am unless you've actually gone to a NASA event, because I do everything in the background. Actually, if you've watched Puzzle General and shit, you might know who I am, but I'm the head of tech. I make sure that shit doesn't explode, or at least if it does, it's my fault. So
Yeah, if anyone thinks I did a lot of shit backseat at NASA, the first one, I set up tech on the first day, and after that, it was just like, you do it.
You went to go ride
You
roller
good at
coasters.
computer.
And then you went to Six Flags.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just Six Flags.
Hey, that was a good Six Flags.
And then, yeah, the NASA 2017, I just you know what? You just set it up the way you like it. You know what you're doing. And he's the one who does the most tech. There's
To be
other
fair,
people who do it with him, but he's the
I did go to
big honcho.
Canada's Wonderland during the Halloween marathon. I just need to keep the tradition alive. So
I'll do
and
class.
our boy Lurk, who's currently hosting this.
Yeah, I'm looking at like 4 different streams at once, but yeah, what's up? I speedrun video games sometimes, not recently.
Lurk, give me the deets on Contradiction 2.
There's no deets, man. It's not happening yet. I don't know what the issue is. Probably funding, to be honest.
Probably.
I know a bunch of the certain cast members are doing stuff, but it's not Contradiction 2. It's a shame.
Anyway, before we get on to like guest selected topics, each of us has something we want to talk shit about. What y'all been doing recently? Any like standouts? You've been running a hot game? Seeing a hot movie, shit like that?
I can tell you what I haven't been doing. Any speedrunning.
Good man.
Get this
I
man
can
out of
second
here.
that.
Same. Yeah.
I got
Watch this.
school, man. I can't. I'm too much of a nerd to play games.
Actually, Laz, what was that furry StarCraft game you were playing?
Oh, yeah, you
It's like
weren't
furry
supposed
StarCraft. You play
you weren't
like
supposed to
badgers
talk-
and shit.
Oh, you're talking about Tooth and
Tooth
Nail.
and Tail.
Oh,
Tail,
yeah,
yeah.
Tooth and Tail. Yeah,
That
that
actually looks
game's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it has speedrun potential. The only issue is it's a RNG selected seed for like the maps, so both multiplayer and campaign are always going to be randomized. It's okay.
How like would the variance in the randomness like even itself out over the course of the campaign, or would it just be like if you get a shit map, it's over?
I mean, really, it's dependent on the mission because the missions will always give you the consistent units. Like for example, one mission will give you the overpowered tier 4 unit that might help you out despite map RNG. But the problem is your commander is how you move the units by putting the commander in positions. It's possible to do some speed tech. By that I mean you can do a 2-prong attack by having one group here, and then having them come around. But I haven't worked on it as a speed game. It has potential, but it might be a game to watch out for maybe in the future, assuming anyone picks it up.
Also, recently your Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden record was taken, right?
Yeah, I got sniped by Rivers McClown. He writes for ESPN. He's a writer who picked up the game back in 2016, I think. He came around and he wanted to learn the run at the 12-hour challenge. Thanks to my boy I Ate Your Pie. Make sure to subscribe. And after he picked it up, he did a couple runs. He did an online marathon recently. And then finally he sniped the run, and it's really good on him. I might come back and take it, but I really doubt, because speed gaming is for nerds.
I'm gonna back that up.
Thank you.
No problem.
Any nerds here who've been speedrunning recently?
Hey yo, so I got mad world records in Grabbed by the Ghoulies recently.
I saw that.
Not actually, but I got some mad improvements in my my meme categories, which was pretty sick. Other than that, not much really.
Because I've recently I've been back on the grind for Point Blank 1, 2, and 3 runs. Beat my records on it. Crazy crazed goalie or something like that. And gotta defend my light gun records, man, because that shit's fun.
That's understandable.
You gotta hold it down for the nation.
Yeah. I mean,
Which name would that be?
The.
Oh,
I also got back into F-Zero GX after like a year-long hiatus, so I'm going between that and Point Blank.
I did PB in Oregon Trail a couple days ago.
And that was with audio, right?
Yeah, with audio, the true category.
Can't believe I missed that.
Someone beat my Pajama Sam Lost and Found time somehow. A game where you literally press a button 99 times. And they beat me by 2 seconds. I'm not gonna watch their run to see what happened because it's the most fucking memeiest meme that ever memed. But I just got a notification on speedrun.com and I was just like, huh. How? Well, good for him.
I just did a speedrun of Anime Girl Tetris. That was about it.
That's respectable.
Yeah.
That's
I haven't
beautiful.
speedrunned at all. Speedranned. I've been too busy with Speed Souls charity marathon to do any kind of speedrunning. And also, you know, not feeling like speedrunning.
It's okay, Dark. You can just come out and say you're a normie. I would understand.
I'm a normie. Oh no. I have been playing this, which is mirrored, I think, but it's Neo. I've been playing that with one of my Dark Souls buddies.
All right, to transition us into the next topic as well as give a recap, CFB, what have you been doing lately?
What have I been doing lately? I've been streaming a JRPG ROM hack. That's what I've been doing. That and work. Freaking wage slave, dude. So
You also did a few randomizing game runs, right?
yes, I also participated in the Super Metroid randomizer tournament. I got third place, which I'm a little sad that I didn't win because I was talking mad shit the entire time. Like anytime someone asked, like how I felt, I just said I was going to win the tournament, and I pretty much acted like a heel. I know we have a wrestling fan in here, so I know at least one person will get that. Huh? Where? He's like down to the right on my screen. I don't know where he is anyone else, but yeah, no, it was pretty fun. I've really been enjoying some of the content on speed gaming. Like, there's definitely been just a ton of tournaments, so usually you can find at least one you like. But Jesus, dude, there's so much Link to the Past randomizer that like I just can't. I just can't, man. They need to do something about that. Like, they just need to like get them all in a building and blow it up. I don't know what to do.
How you can make that fun is have the narrator be WQ. That would spice up that Link to the Past randomizers quite a bit.
Yeah, dude, I wanna give WQ on speed gaming and see how long it takes to get that stream banned because that would be very entertaining.
I've been at least trying to help that out.
Yeah.
Me and Forky have been trying to get some more puzzle stuff, so we've done a couple puzzle stuff on speed gaming I think people appreciated when we were breaking up the monotony.
Yeah, I like the Tetris attack, Chase, for the record.
That was legit, especially since Montucky almost got the world record. He was on world record pace. He lost the time to Bowser, and he couldn't clear him in the 30 seconds that he had. It ended up taking 2 minutes because RNG, just terrible. But it was super close. And it was the only other sub-8 time that happened during that whole thing. But I overall enjoyed it, especially since at the start, Cypher got to give a lot of insight on the game.
Yeah.
Word.
Any other randomizers you wanted to mention?
I mean, that's really the only two I can think of is SM and Link to the Past. I don't think they're doing any other randomizer. Oh no, there's been a Final Fantasy 1 randomizer tournament.
There's also been a Pokemon Crystal.
Yeah, Pokemon Crystal.
Oh, okay. I don't pay attention to Pokemon.
I don't pay attention to randomizers.
Also,
I
think
that.
it was crap. I think it was in like 2013 where Mike89 did a run of like Pokemon Red or Blue randomized. And that's what like started off the big speedrunning scene, I think, for it.
Yeah.
So if you hate randomizer, blame him. You like?
I know. I was just gonna say I know Crank Dud actually made the very first Super Metroid randomizer. So if you guys know who Crank Dud is, you can blame him for SM.
Force extraordinaire.
Crank Dud is actually a really, really good speedrunner. So
Yeah.
big shouts to him.
Does anyone know what the first like randomizer was?
I'm not sure.
I'm guessing it was the Pokemon. That's the earliest one I saw people run, or Mike89 at least. Play.
I mean, in a way, you could say like a precursor to randomizers were bingos.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So I guess Ocarina of Time would be the original.
Yeah.
Next topic up, someone wanted to bring. Oh, yeah, let's go with mine. You know, like emulators, you say like, oh, if an emulator has an advantage, like if it loads faster, plays the game faster, ban that shit. Obvious. And that's like some if it's like, oh, if it plays the game correctly, then you could allow it, and it'd be like, all right, some people are onto that. But I think any game that has a disc swap, where you need to take out a disc, put another in for like mostly early PlayStation platformers, some other like just games that are like long as shit.
Like
Fucking
LA
ban
Noire.
it automatically because you can disc swap in like a frame. Just push a button, loads the next CD, and that's an advantage and should be banned.
Can we just get rid of emulators? Am I the guy?
I would love to get rid of emulators.
I would love to, but there's some babies who always whine when we
Fuck
bring
them.
it up.
Who cares?
I'm 100% behind you, but I think we can agree that everyone should agree that in cases where emulators should always be banned is when they play faster than consoles or when they have disc swap.
Yeah, that's
game
pretty
I ran-
reasonable.
The only
Like-
game I ran that had disc swap was Killer 7, and it only saved like 10 seconds, but that's like, that's still saves
That's a
time on the
valuable.
console.
That could be the difference between first and second, my man.
I mean,
So if it's an advantage over console, and any game with a disc swap, it has an advantage over console, so ban it.
So how do you feel about Virtual Console in general?
I was just about to bring that
I
up.
say fastest official release, and Virtual Console is an official release. So is PSN. If it's good enough for Sony, who the fuck am I
I
to
like
say?
that sound logic. If it's an
Yeah.
official release, then everything goes.
I
Does it
don't.
have-
My whole thing is I don't want to get into the point where like, oh, the speedrunning community and our made up rules, and then like Johnny Bag of Donuts like picks up the game and he runs it on VC, and then people say his time isn't real, but then he says, oh well, according to Twin Galaxies here, my time's the best. Like I don't want that to happen.
What about when like VC is like straight up faster than console, specifically because there's like a trick that crashes on console that doesn't crash on VC?
Then don't run
Mhm.
console.
I think it's just everybody
Yeah.
should move over to that.
Move
I mean,
over to the
yeah.
fastest one.
The
If-
speedrunning
if-
community has no fucking shame. They will go ahead and pirate Ocarina of Time Japanese Virtual Consoles just because it was fastest. Guarantee nobody went out to go officially purchase the Japanese wads of any N64 game.
Alright, ban them all, dude.
Yeah, ban
Plus-
them all.
Plus, in the case where it crashes it, you could understand. All right, that makes it reasonable to have a category split, and you'd be like, here's the fast category, and here's the slow one.
I don't even think that that's necessary. See, this is the thing, right? I think that you run the fastest version of the game, or you don't run the game. Like,
The goal of
over it.
speedrunning is to beat the game as fast
Yeah.
as possible. And if that's not what you're doing, then just call yourself you're a Let's Player with a timer. That's what you are to me.
right.
I mean, to some extent, though, like you have to acknowledge other categories as long as they're not completely arbitrary.
Well, it's
Sure,
like,
but
I'm
I
fine.
think
I'll even defend somewhere like if an arbitrary category is fun, it's like go for it, but like make sure you define it as that.
Yeah, of
I
course,
think
there has
that-
to be. Oh, go ahead.
I guess in terms of like leaderboard, the arbitrary is fine, but undefined. If it's like ill-defined, then it's like objectively shit. Like when the Cuphead thing, it had like
The
like
Cuphead thing.
weapon swap glitch where it was like, you can't swap weapons too close to each other, otherwise it'll be weapon swap glitch. But they don't define how long it's allowed.
Yeah.
So it's an undefined rule, and that's literally like
Talking about discretion, right?
I love the reason for it too. Like if you read like the rule post, it's just like we want to save you from developing RSI. What do you think speedrunning is? That's all speedrunning is.
Is that? And have you
So-
guys ever seen a Contra 3? By the way,
Yeah.
yeah, they literally spam weapon
the
swapping to get
same
around
trick.
like cooldowns. I don't know.
It's also in Devil May Cry. The grenade launcher has like a long cooldown, and if you like swap weapons or roll, I think it also if you dodge roll, it'll subvert the timer.
Freaking
I mean,
new boys, dude.
It's just a trick.
I don't think that there's a problem with having leaderboard splits for like actually different categories, but I think that it's completely pointless to have different leaderboards or categories just because of console differences.
Oh,
Like,
you
it's,
wanna?
it's where you get into Resident Evil leaderboard territory.
No,
I
where
was
you get into
just
Breath of the
about to
Wild
say that.
leaderboard.
My
I was
favorite
just about to say
leaderboards.
that.
Because like they've since fixed a lot of it, but I remember back in the day when the Resident Evil 4 leaderboard had at least, I think, 8 world records listed for any individual category.
Oh yeah, that was
That was some good
I remember
shit.
that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Where there was a whole
So-
panel separated for if a run is a world record or not.
Yeah, it's pretty around
Shout
the
out to
time
Audio
when.
7.
Shoutouts to Cyberdemon, by the way, for exposing that community. Because during that time, it was just a complete shit show. Like, even if you go on the Resident Evil 4 leaderboards now, it's still convoluted. You have so many categories, so many arbitrary categories. Then you
Yeah,
have...
like if you ever have to anyone new to the game just has to ask the question. It's like, oh, so what's the fastest?
because
And
the
you
problem,
don't know.
because the biggest problem is a lot of people didn't realize, like, oh, if I play 60 frames per second, I can skip this one particular boss. Or no, they didn't want to do frame swapping because they thought, oh,
Yeah.
that's technically an RTA run, and under their guise, that's like, whoa, you have to play 60 frames per second. You can't frame swap because
Yeah,
if you
'cause
frame
there-
swap, go
It
ahead.
was the single segment thing that was the issue for them, I think.
Yeah,
The-
because it's
they
like
were saying
some things were faster at 30, some faster at 60, and they didn't allow like switching mid-run
Right.
to go to the faster thing.
Which is
That's
dumb.
been, yeah, it is really dumb. Some of the Souls like leaderboards.
Credit
we
where
have
it's
on
due.
Speed
At least
Souls.
they were like the rules for that were defined. It was not
Well-
undefined. Like no, you can't swap weapons too fast.
Some of the leaderboards that we have for some of the newer Souls games, the community of those games has decided that they want to like ban quitting out and then reloading in, and it's really stupid in my opinion. Like, because it's annoying. That's literally the reason. They don't want to do it because it's annoying to wait through the load screens, even though it's faster for in-game time, which is what you
What
use.
the hell are
Like,
those rules? Oh my god.
It makes no sense to me. I mean, original Dark Souls, you use in-game
I mean,
time.
that would essentially just be
You-
like no save and quit, right?
Right, exactly. You're not
Because
allowed
a
to
lot
save
of
and quit.
communities like that category.
I think that that's a stupid.
So were they trying to
arbitrary-
like just ban it and just have
Slow.
any percent be this, or are they
no,
trying to create?
there's 2 categories. It's already like that. So like for Bloodborne, there's no save and quit, and there's save and quit, and it's because the load screens for Bloodborne are long, but it uses in-game time, so who gives a shit? You just want the fastest in-game time. Like,
Some people really don't like that saving. Oh yeah, that reminds me of this was like years ago where I would join A Link to the Past, join some of the races and shit, and just ask them, "Is saving a major glitch?" And they're like,
Yeah.
like Zelna, who's
Absolutely.
like the best runner now, he would just instantly be like, "Yep," and
Yeah.
then everyone else they would just like fall for the bait,
I can't
which
believe
is
people
like the
fell for that.
lowest bait.
Like,
Zelna
you
was,
really...
There's like
It was-
pace spins of him just where like Zelda would be like, yeah, sure, and then everyone else would just start these long rants that made no sense.
How many times did Crystal kick you out of that IRC channel?
Probably too many.
Many times.
Yeah.
I don't know why Crystal got so mad at that.
I can't imagine why anyone would get mad at you. You never say anything inflammatory. You never like say anything just to get a
Just so
reaction.
honest.
Like, you're 100%.
Or it's like even like I can
genuine.
understand like people who like if they don't know anything about me, they just started seeing my Twitter recently and don't understand that it's like all a joke.
Yeah.
Like, wow,
But
this
it's like
guy's a
if
huge asshole.
I feel like there's a cycle of just people constantly being introduced to you and not getting it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with that. It's
Which,
funny.
to be fair, the story of speedrunning.
I don't know. The moment I saw like Niglaria, a couple of GDQs in 2015, I think, was exposed to Niglaria, like I got it immediately. I was like, yeah, I know exactly. Like a shitter. He's not like being mean. He's just like just doing shit, being like having a good time, and then everyone's like, I can't believe this guy like used a warp code in Sonic, and it's like, dude, who gives a
Yeah.
shit? He's just showing off zips. Like,
Oh yeah.
what the heck?
That's I still today when I stream, I'll like every second stream, someone will come in my chat and be like, "I remember you from the SGU 2013 run," and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm glad you were entertained by that.
Yeah, man.
It's just weird that it's like it's like they just watched a run from 4 years ago, and that's how they know me.
That's all you are. You're that one. You're that one
Although,
run. That's.
Yeah.
I guess
Could you imagine how annoying that would
Yeah,
be?
let's.
I
like,
can't. I can't. Man, I can't.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. To be fair, it's not that bad. There's people who have it worse. I don't think we need to say any more on that.
The first
I think we do.
time the first time I ever met Naglario, we were setting up a TV to set up F-Zero, and someone walked over and asked him for his autograph.
Oh yeah, that guy.
That was very funny.
That
Wait,
was me. I sold it on eBay for $50.
There's a guy
Thank you.
that same guy asking for his auto later. Like he was watching and like Dracodan, who's from England, he asked him, it's like, so after church, do you practice the longbow? Dan was just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, I remember he said he also he was like, so do you guys have water in your toilets there in England too?
You just asked so many fucking weird questions.
But yeah, it was amazing. I remember that GDQ. That's funny.
Yeah.
Or that I still don't know if that guy was serious or if he was asking dumb questions, or if he was like genuinely wondering these things.
I think he was genuine, honestly, because just how he said it was just so. I don't know. It was confident, I guess.
Anyway, next topic. Dark Aries, forcing leaderboard video quality. What do you want to say about that?
I think that it's just the funniest fucking shit to read ever. Because there's so many good people who don't have a capture card at all. And then they eventually get one anyway, so I don't understand why it's like such a big deal. I kind of like the way that I don't know if it's the actual SM64 or SM64DS leaderboards do it, but it's just that if it's below a certain time, it would be nice to have a direct capture quality. But to outright just like ban like having a webcam pointed at TV, because I mean, if you think about it, like my phone takes 4K video, so if I point it at my TV and take a video of me doing like a decent run, it will probably be more than acceptable, and will probably actually look better than a bunch of the videos on SDA right now. Like, I tried watching...
Please don't use SDA as a reference.
The problem is they were supposed to be a reference in video quality. If you look at the forums, there's so much talk about how everything needs to be of such a high quality.
Right.
And then I tried watching the PSP Castlevania run, the one that's a remake of Rondo of Blood, and it was just awful to watch. I'm like, this is literally like 160p. It's terrible. It probably would have been better if somebody just aimed their webcam at a TV. But I mean, I don't think forcing everybody to go get a capture card right off the bat is a very smart thing to do. Obviously, later down the line, people get a capture card and they buy bad capture cards, and then everybody ends up in the loop of, oh my god, why does my quality suck? And then we end up with a bunch of people having data paths who don't know how to use them, or they don't work. But I just think it's really funny to watch all the drama around the video quality for leaderboards.
Can I just add something real quick?
Probably the thing...
Yeah,
what?
go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
I was just going to say that the Hotline Miami community has a world record on Periscope. That's it's the co-op world record where me and Snowfats were doing one hand on mouse, one hand on keyboard. So if you guys ever want to check that out,
I want to pull this up right now.
It's definitely something.
Yeah,
so we definitely got it down.
Dragon
This is
Tail,
more than
Dragon
acceptable
Seek is a
quality.
phone
Love
capture
it.
record.
And I was gonna bring up that for some consoles, like for consoles,
Playing on stream right now.
is like,
I'll get it.
Yeah,
capture isn't too hard,
that's
but
perfect
for
quality right there. I can tell exactly what's happening. I don't understand the problem.
yeah, like for handhelds like the 3DS, where the only way to get capture, it's like you need to dish out some mad dough.
Yeah.
I can understand being like, yeah, just point a webcam as long as you can like verify everything, go for it.
And the thing is,
But to me, it's
a lot of leaderboards don't even allow to use the Wi-Fi capturing because, well, A, the Wi-Fi captures crap. It just literally sends JPEGs over a Wi-Fi network and not even good at doing that.
Yeah.
Not even kidding. That's how Wi-Fi streaming works. Just take screenshots in JPEG and
When are we going to get to the point where screenshot Let's Plays make a comeback in the form of speed?
God, I hope so.
Love it.
Man.
But yeah, there's leaderboards where they don't even allow Wi-Fi capture. So your options are to hope Loopy gets a 3DS capture card in, which is not going to happen because he hasn't had any in stock for like years, or deal with Katsukitty, who probably has really long lines and the quality is still kind of iffy. So I mean, the only cheap acceptable solution is just to point your phone or decent camera at your 3DS.
Yeah. I can't get the Wi-Fi streaming to work online.
Also, I like that a lot of this started from Goose, who's like honed his shit posting on the Elite forums for years.
Yeah.
And it's like most people, it's another person like me, where like most people don't understand this guy.
Well, it's really funny as well because in their Discord, they were actually having a discussion on if RGB mods should actually be banned for their leaderboards.
Which leaderboard?
GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. They're like,
Yeah.
it's an RGB mod. It modifies the console. Our rules say no modifications allowed.
Well, I mean,
So anybody recording an RGB
I guess
banned.
if their rules ban it, then yeah. for them,
They
it would
quickly
be banned.
changed
Them's
their
the rules.
opinion when people who knew what they were talking about were like, no, this is literally just a video. It doesn't magically make you any better at the game. It just means your capture is better.
That's actually like on Twin Galaxies that is banned though. Video signal mods that just give you a
Well,
cleaner
that's
video
because
signal.
Twin Galaxies is just anybody who wants to know how Twin Galaxy works just needs to start reading the Dragster thread.
Look.
that's
you-
its own,
they
I think that
want-
needs to be its own episode.
They need the
Like-
original video quality so they can capture every frame of the human element at work.
They need those VHS quality, which is 320p or no 240p max at like 30 frames a second interlaced. That's the
Also,
quality. they
Dragster
need.
is a bit long. I'd recommend the Mike Gerard Punch Out one. That's shorter and it's got just as much quality. Where the guy who submitted the run that was proven to be faked, he pretended that he was hacked by Josh
Yeah,
Marlowe.
he got hacked.
And
We got hacked.
like,
Oh, okay.
starts this separate persona and then like pretending it's like, no, I didn't. That wasn't me in this video that was like proven to be fake. It was this hacker submitted it, so it's like I'm okay. There's so much good shit on TG. I love it. Or oh shit! Recently it was brought up where a certain Atari game that were I think it's Centipede or something, or a rabbit game where it's like the score counter goes up by 5, so it's like it'll always end in 0 or 5.
Yeah.
Todd Rogers had like it was like 1,698.
It was like not divisible. It was not divisible.
Yeah, not
The
divisible
increment
by
of the
5.
scoring.
So and then some of the TG people were like, well, let's just round it to the nearest 5. Which if it was like 1,698, if they rounded it to like 1,700, that's like you entered 3 keys wrong. Like, oh man, it's so good.
I mean, there's also the stupid argument that if you have really nice quality video, it's easier to splice with emulators.
Oh man.
Also, you said mention MPC. What's that?
That is the Mystery Puzzle Challenge, which is a collaboration between Puzzle General and NASA. It is basically a mystery tournament that is solely puzzle games. So, because a lot of us in Puzzle General are like, always tune in when the puzzle games happen, and then it's like, oh, this person's really good at them, or oh, wow, this person's terrible. Like during Aqua Rush, where both players were just awful at the game. And then a lot of us were like, "Oh, this is actually pretty fun. Glad we got to see this game." But we're making basically a mystery tournament that's only puzzle games. Registration for volunteers is open right now. Registration to actually enter will be open probably sometime this week. Forky just needs to get the rest of the everything sorted out. But it's going to be simple. You register, you fill in all the information. You need to submit one puzzle game and a goal with it. That's just like Mystery Tournament. It has to be beaten within like half an hour, 45 minutes or something. Obviously, we'll be testing games and goals and everything like that. But the goal is just to see who is the real puzzle master when it comes to puzzle games.
Yo, sign me up, baby. I got the perfect game.
So, are you saying that who was it that was doing Aqua Rush in the finals? It was like what, Magma Peach and Andy? And
Yeah,
4-H?
They were pretty bad.
So you're confirming they're both shit. I want to go on the record.
Aqua
here.
Rush, I'm confirming that they're both shit. It came to the point where even the commentators are like, I don't understand how they're doing so bad.
Yeah.
And these were the people who tested the game, apparently. So
the second or third mystery tournament, Jorf was playing a game against someone else, and during the game you have to like climb up a wall by like pulling out blocks from it. And it like halfway up, there's like an elevator that takes you like all the way, or like it, or not even have like a quarter of the way. And that's what like basically when you get to the elevator, you basically ended the game. But Jorf didn't see the elevator; he just kept climbing up normal. And they spent like 10 minutes like where Jorf, he's not in, like he doesn't, he's just watching the game because it's like you can't like get like spoiled for anything.
Yeah.
So for like 10 minutes, he's just climbing the walls like really fucking fast too. He's doing a good job of it. And then that's like a recent like it's like. The other guy ended the game like 10 minutes ago.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds amazing.
Well, it's because it's where that was like everyone that like tested the game. They went on that elevator thing, but Jorf did not. He just kept like lightning gunning it up the wall. It was good shit.
Yeah, if anybody,
I remember. I'm pretty sure I Eat Your Pie was hosting it because I remember him laughing. His laugh is very specific. Also, the program we're using for video has less than 1 minute.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I put the link to the Puzzle General Discord in chat. Looks like if you click it, it doesn't work. You have to remove that HTTPS part. But if you're interested in the if you're interested in joining or just knowing about it, just join the Discord. That's where all the registration and like match scheduling and everything's gonna happen. So
hopefully when we reset the video thing, it's all nice.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks for watching No Major Opinions. This is the end of the podcast. Thank you for watching. We will see you next time.
Well, this is like part 1, I guess.
Yeah.
server.
Thank you, Two Worlds.
Just ban
on to intermission we go.
Alright, Lurk, you ready to like speedrun resetting the channel?
I'm ready. Here we go.
Play those dang commercials though.
Ride to hell.
Around that.
Hey, we're back.
Oh.
What?
What? Were we not already back?
No, we're back now though.
That was a
thank God.
quick intermission.
Oh, that was a short intermission. All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We're back.
Alright, next topic. Two Worlds, you want to talk about online marathons?
Oh, yeah. So pretty much, I was a few months ago, fairly certain Apollo Legend or somebody was complaining, oh, there's too many online marathons, man, some stupid shit like that, but I personally disagree. I feel like the more online marathons, the better, because it's just spreading the love of speed gaming and shit. Like, I don't really know what to say because I didn't have a topic prepared on what to say, but...
I'll disagree with you right there. I think there's too many online marathons.
Alright.
What's your discussion for that? Let's debate this, Two Worlds.
Actually, real quick, just to back my boy Two Worlds up, I agree. I think it's nice to have a lot of marathons, but I think the issue revolves around the idea that they're not like spaced out properly. You have a lot of online marathons and IRL marathons that happen at the same time, and I think this contributes mainly to the fact that a lot of people do it at times where people are either not going to college or when it's convenient for them. So I think it's alright to have a lot of marathons as it is, but they need to be spaced properly, and I don't know how you can solve that problem without...
Use Hararo.
Oh,
I mean, in theory, Hararo is a decent thing, but who actually looks at Hararo?
I mean, there is a calendar on there to see what marathons are going on and shit, so it's good for avoiding scheduling conflicts.
But I mean,
and stuff.
even if you look at Hararo, there's at least like 3 marathons that happen every weekend. Like, yeah, Lurk pulled it up. Look how many marathons are happening. Like, geez. There's
Like
also
5 or 6. Damn.
I actually saw this. Pidge has been working actually with people, I believe in speed gaming. They're trying to create like an app or site to consolidate all the events that are happening in the speedrunning community. So you can just look at it and go, oh, this shit's happening today.
It's their own version of Ferraro, basically.
Well, Ferraro is really just a schedule thing, but I mean, in any case, just even look at all of those marathons. It's ridiculous.
Is there a negative effect though?
I
mean, besides
technically, yes, because I want to say that a lot of marathons are actually charity marathons, and you end up raising a lot less money when there's so many other marathons that are going on at the same time.
I don't think that makes logical sense. You would still raise the same amount of money. It would just be distributed across more different events.
Because you're competing with other events for one viewer's
I mean,
money.
like, the sum total between all of the charities might be the same, but the distribution could change, I guess, is what you're saying.
For one specific charity, the amount will be less.
I think,
sure.
To be fair, I think also if a marathon wants to make themselves out there and be known, they can put the effort into doing it. You also have to consider, like, if they do an online marathon, you have to expect, well, okay, we're doing online versus an IRL. This is going to be a lot easier, but it's going to be less impactful. Just look at NASA and AGDQ, for example. NASA was a marathon that came out of nowhere, and everyone was like, oh, this is just a meme marathon. No one's going to take it seriously. And then look at NASA 2. People are like, oh, wow, I actually want to go to this versus going to a GDQ. With online marathons, they don't have the same the effectiveness to be super, super popular. Because the problem is...
Unless they have a niche, like a marathon.
Well, if they're like RPG limit, or RPG limit break, then that's fine.
That's impressive.
I was gonna say, like, considering the Speed Souls event just happened last weekend, and that was literally only Dark Souls games, and we raised $12,000. So, like, and that was planned in a month. So, like, the announcement was made a month before.
There's also the positive that it had a lot of really big names behind it.
Yeah.
With a lot of other online marathons, it's basically going to end up being with people who are free. There's not very many, unless it's a marathon of a larger name, it's very hard to actually pull in the bigger hitters to actually get more views to yourself. So you actually end up doing a lot more work on the back end through social media or Reddit or just advertising to at least try to get people to know that your event is actually happening.
All right, I think there's a good idea. I think there's a we can do NASA 2018. Let's have a fundraiser and get Witwix there. I think it's time.
Oh, that's perfect.
No, you don't even...
Okay, only if we include Dugong.
Do both. Yeah, Witwix can pick up Dugong and go to the airport.
Yeah, because I still want to have
Trihex in there, dude.
Like, my dream for like a NASA is to have like a 12-hour block where we just give Dugong a NES flash cart.
Yeah,
like, all right, it's all you, dude. It's 12 hours. You just do whatever you want.
I would watch at least 8 hours of that for sure.
And he would do speed runs for 12 hours.
Yeah,
he would make that work.
Am I the only one who just doesn't watch streams at all anymore?
No, I don't either, really.
No,
like the people's like, oh, there's so many online marathons. Like, yeah, when I like a couple years ago, I probably would have agreed, but like now, are any of these marathons even worth watching? Because I don't hear anyone talk about them. Like, I'll hear whisperings about like, oh, shots fired every now and then, but that's it.
That's the thing. Like, unless you're one of the larger online marathons, it's who's watching, really.
Right.
Well, speaking of larger online marathons, I'd say the We Want JSRF HD marathon is definitely the greatest online marathon this century.
Actually, speaking of that marathon, Slopes game, they had a Jet Set Radio complete history. I was super upset he didn't mention the fact that there was a We Want Jet Set Radio Future HD marathon that happens.
What, he didn't? Oh, damn.
No, I need to tweet at him, like, I can't believe you didn't include this in the history of the game. That there are people so dedicated that they will run marathons all the time to try to get Sega to make an HD version.
If by people you mean Two Worlds, then yes.
Yeah, basically.
Well, no, I was in the marathon.
Two Worlds has helps. Jabro helps him out and crap.
Fuck Jabro.
You can't say that. He's Canadian.
Dude, he threw up in the hotel, man.
You already had South Park and New Car Country. You can't just say that to Canadians, dude.
Fair enough.
I think I think that you mentioned at one point you were saying that one of the problems is big names not getting involved, right? So that to me feels like if you're doing a charity event, for example, and you've got a specific like thing in mind for your charity event, right? Then you need to be getting those big names involved before you go ahead with the event. Like, because otherwise you're not raising any money, right? If it's just a regular stream, like what most of our NASA events are like, then you get whoever wants to participate, because then it doesn't really matter whether the big names are involved.
I think a lot of that as well is that where do people even set up online marathons? Like, STA is dead.
Reddit.
Where are you supposed to?
Probably like Discord, maybe.
Yeah,
They all have their own
Okay,
little
so if I'm
Discords.
not in whatever Discord that people are in, how am I supposed to know that this event is a thing?
Yo,
Well,
Twitter.
see, what you do
Twitter's
is you
like
go
the
to one of
hub.
the IRL marathons, and then you go to dinner with them, and then you get into the Discord.
Yeah.
But that's so many Discords. Like, it's
That's so many
fragmentation in this
dinners. I don't
community
know what
is
the problem
so
is.
stupid.
I mean, let's be real here. There's a reason that we want Jet Set Radio and ARPGME are on the channel, because it's easier to expose these marathons if you have an existing platform, right? So basically, there's two sides to this. Are there either too many marathons, or is it just that people don't know where to go to find the marathons?
Well, they're spread out, right? Like, a lot of the online marathons are kind of niche, and they're kind of like, this community's games, or this game, or this group of this series of games. So, the issue is that if they were consolidated, then you'd have a place to go for them. Kind of like how speed gaming is doing for all the races.
I think people would enjoy having consolidated marathons. Like, if you could just go on your follow list and go like, oh, NASA's hosting this online marathon, ESA's hosting this online marathon, GDQ's hosting this online marathon, people would actually watch them a lot more.
Well, that brings up another interesting point, which is that I think that another part of the problem is that marathons don't really talk to each other. Like, a lot of times if shots fired, right? Like, do they ever like message us and are like, hey, we're gonna have a marathon on this weekend? Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one talks to each other at all about these things.
I was actually
who to talk to.
Right.
Like if you want a big name, no online marathons have big name runners. Like, do people ever ask? No one ever asked me. Not that I'm the fucking online big runner, but I've never been asked really. It's like, hey, you want to be in this marathon? Because I'd say yes. What the hell am I doing? Nothing.
Yo, okay, man, you want to be in my marathon, dude? I need someone to replace a slot.
Yeah.
There we go. Problem solved.
Easy.
Oh,
I remember,
yeah.
I think it was 2014 where I was talking like talking to like GDQ people live, and I was like, you could just like literally pay PewDiePie or whatever his name is, just come and just like play Amnesia for like 3 hours and like in a speed run. And it's like, yeah, it might not be much of a speed run, but that would like pay for itself in donations.
I mean, they kind of already do that in a way, because
not really, because they like spiritually, it still is all speed running or like showcases.
I mean,
they never
also
have like a truly just here's someone we paid to like raise money.
But for example, like if Bubbles picks up a new speed game, he doesn't have to be great at it, just decent. And it will probably get in comparison to somebody else.
Yeah, but
he's
here's the thing with Bubbles, though. He is a speedrunner. Like, remember, like, back in the day, like, Giant Waffle and Bacon Donut wanted to release Minecraft just because they're Let's Players, and the community freaked out. And I think, like, I don't know if it was GDQ itself, because obviously they put them on the schedule because they're like, oh, what a great idea. But I think the community backlash factored in.
I mean,
if they actually tried to speedrun it, I wouldn't have cared.
I think a lot of the backlash was also because of the fact that they were like, there was no actual showing of them speedrunning it. There was no practice of it happening. And people who speedrun it were also like, this is a really terrible time. And I think the official word is they dropped them because there was no showing that they would actually even get close to estimate.
Whereas, like, really, in reality, it's like, even if they were shit, it still would have raised money.
Oh,
That's a conflict in, like, in the, if you're, like, how much are you, like, a charity-focused marathon or, like a speedrun marathon, where it's, like, it's not, like, exactly binary. There's a spectrum there, you know?
Yeah.
Multiple spectrums.
I don't know. I think the quality of the run would have been really, really, just low.
Oh, it would have been terrible, but it would have raised money. So it's like,
Yeah,
what are your goals?
It would have made money, but I think it would defeat the whole entire purpose of having a speedrun marathon at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is,
Alright.
GDQ has even had non-speedrun events happen.
Yeah, showcases.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like,
I mean,
Flash Revolution or Stepmania. That it wasn't a speedrun; it was an extreme show of speeds as a skill, but it wasn't a speedrun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
In
would,
the-
it would be
in-
admitting that they're not
Super Mario Maker.
like a speedrun event, you know, because that's the whole thing.
I mean,
right?
based on that, right? Like, do you think, Laz, that like bad speedruns at an event, like if someone's just like, let's use Bubbles as an example. Not that like I'm here to shit on Bubbles, because I think that the way that the Speed Souls, certain people in the Speed Souls community reacted to his Dark Souls 3 run was immature.
Bubbles is a
But-
really cool dude. If you
Yeah, he is.
know him.
So here's the thing, though. That run was objectively horrible. Like
Okay.
it was objectively terrible as a speed run, and it
Okay.
was clear that like he didn't know what the hell he was doing at points, right? So that being said, it still raised a shit ton of money and tons of people enjoyed it. So is it not? Does it not belong there? Is what I'm just getting at. Just because it was bad.
Okay, so there's other examples you could also say too. In the case of my boy Studio, who submits any game and then just does runs of it, despite not really practicing it.
I mean,
Half-Life
no,
2.
continue.
But here's the thing: the difference between Bubbles and Giant Waffle and Bacon, or whatever their name was, I can't remember. They didn't play the game for speed. They played the game because they realized this is going to be good for my own personal benefit, and it would made a lot of money. I mean, obviously did when Bismuth ran it, because no one liked it. It was set seed. It was boring as hell to watch, but it didn't matter because it was the game.
There's some parts of it that were cool, but yeah.
I mean, I'm biased.
It had the
I'm
most
not a-
views out
It
of
was
every game that
probably
year.
really good for the people who love Minecraft.
I don't know. I
in the,
was not a big
Like,
fan.
if you were to show that to like my cousin in Poland, who's like 8 or 10, I don't even know how old he is, and I showed him that, he'd probably like press his face into the screen, going, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
The first half of the run, you're just getting shit, but once you get that like teleport stone, you do like weird teleport shots where you like throw it and then you teleport there. That was cool.
But to go back to your question though, like for me personally, I think if you submit a game to a marathon, even if it's a charity event, you should at least try your best to put on a good showing. You will make mistakes. No one's perfect. I mean, when I watched at ESA the Warcraft 3 run, I was expecting the runner, forget his name, the guy was trying to do Warcraft 3 level March of the Plague, and he was trying to do a really, really impressive skip. To his credit, he tried to do it. He failed it completely. He made it look really embarrassing. He did 3 restarts, and then eventually he skipped the mission by using cheats. Now, do I think that's a terrible run?
Nice.
I think it's not exactly well practiced, but I don't think it was an awful run. If you have context to the run, it makes a huge difference. But someone who's just doing a run for the sake of making money, I mean, I don't want to watch that. I want if I'm gonna watch a speedrun, I want to see someone play the speedrun as best as they can.
Because they like the speedrunner, not because, I just want to go.
So I guess it would not just be a matter of the goals of the event, but the goals of each runner in some sense would also be important.
I mean, even looking at not necessarily a quote-unquote good speedrun, but if anybody remembers the diehard attempts that was happening the one GDQ,
Yeah,
that was
2013,
super fun.
that was fun as shit.
Nobody finished the game, I don't think.
No,
But it was
Withheld
amazing
did.
to watch.
Withheld did it.
Okay, I didn't see that part because that was when I wasn't watching it on like a lot and streaming kind of sucked. But that was fun to see people do multiple attempts of the game and not actually finish.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like I mean, to an extent, that is fine because that game with context, is hard. But it's a fun watch.
Yeah,
it's also super short. If it was long, it wouldn't have been funny.
I also like how it was interspersed throughout the marathon. Like there wasn't just like sit down, die block. Like it came back.
It was when they had set up. One thing that I think is going to be cool with this next. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but they're actually going to do like a live block. Darkman and Jimmy Poopin sit down. I don't know how they're going to, but they're apparently going to do like a live tutorial, and I think they're going to try and get someone that's never played the game.
Oh, the Strider tutorial?
Yeah, Strider tutorial.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's gonna be interesting.
Like I think that's cool. Like it's technically like speedrunning. I mean, but it's not like a practice speedrun. But it's gonna. Really
I'm still curious on how that's actually going to end up. I think it'll end up like really good, but there's also the potential that it just might not be as exciting as we all think it is.
I think. Did anyone catch at ESA that like 70? Was that 70 or 120 star where they had like every star was gotten by a different person?
Yeah,
that was fucking hilarious.
That was great.
That was good shit.
Yeah,
I remember watching like it was on the second floor and like they had like a whole lineup of people.
That should have been on the main stream. That would have been epic.
That was it was so fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if they figure out a way to do like input display, I think the tutorial would actually be really well. It'd be really cool if they could just like do a full tutorial.
Well, there's people.
I don't know if he's been working on it
that
recently.
Have input displays, so.
OmniGamer, I think, like a year ago, said he was working on some kind of universal input display for like every common controller.
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember asking and he was like, if we could get it to work, he said he sounded interested. Like, if we could get it to work, it's like sure, it'd be awesome, but it's like if it's, it's a big if.
Yeah.
You just also need a really nice looking input viewer as well, because a lot of the skins are kind of basic and crappy. Or if they look nice, maybe they don't fit in the layout of the stream itself.
Yeah,
you'd have to specifically skin it to look nice.
If you've seen the stuff he's made, it looks nice. Like
I don't know, dude. He made a spreadsheet, and I don't think it was that good.
Oh yeah, the Dragster spreadsheet was not made to look good. But his input shit, like if you've seen PJ's stream, when he uses the Super Nintendo input display, that's one that.
Because I mean, you can get stuff working like. I have literally one of these. These are like $5 or $10 on Amazon. It's an Arduino, yeah. You can just use. There's smaller ones as well. You don't even need a big one like this. And you can just make an input viewer like that. But then there's software like the Nintendo Spy. There's a PadPipe, which is a Python program that does like a GameCube and PlayStation controller input viewers and stuff like that. If you could make it look nice and not really be laggy at all. Because when I was trying it with this, I don't know what I was maybe doing wrong. That's why it's so dusty as well. But there was a very visible delay when I was trying out with Nintendo Spy. Maybe they fixed it up, that it's a lot cleaner.
I've never had issues with Nintendo Spy.
But it could also be that maybe this is just like a really crappy Arduino. Like I said, it was cheap. I don't even think it's official Arduino. Maybe it's just a clone, but you can get input viewers. It's not the problem. I think the problem is just making them look nice on stream and having it fit in with the rest of your layout so it doesn't look completely out of place.
So the next topic someone wanted to talk about, Dark Fox. You wanted to like what on-site events you'd want at NASA?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily just NASA, but when you're going to these on-site marathons like NASA or like AGDQ or like ESA, what else do you guys think should be there? Because we were for NASA discussing having tournaments and panels, right? And we're gonna try out some of that stuff this year, in theory. And I guess, just what do you think would work well? Like,
I think panels are interesting as long as they're recorded. Like if they're mic'd up, recorded, they don't have to be streamed, but they have to be posted. Because I don't see the point of just having like a panel that no one sees. Because there's been panels at GDQs before where it's just like
actually
Golden and pals talking around. Like, I don't get it.
No, if I didn't even realize that GDQ had panels like that. But yeah, if we, like for example, in theory, if I was to have a panel discussing streaming from like a tech standpoint, that I would hope that somebody would want to watch that. But obviously, not everybody at the event is going to care about it as much as maybe some people should. But something like that, I would hope that it does get recorded and does get available to watch later, because I think people can find a lot of different panels interesting. Some of the ideas that we had when I kind of started poking and prodding people was what effort does it even go into running an online marathon or an on-site marathon? oftentimes people are like, oh, I just want to make a marathon. And then they are like, where do I start? I don't know what to do. Or for another idea was, how do you even go about routing in a randomizer for X game? Because it's obviously very different. What is the mindset to it? Another one was how to do a task of a game, for example. Dhacked was like, oh, I can set up a SNES emulator for Super Metroid and have like all the hitboxes showing and everything like that. So I think there's a lot of potential for cool panels as long as people are willing to go and actually watch them.
It'd be a good like second stream content if we get that shit happening.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. A nice second stream for them as well as them being locally recorded.
Yeah, wasn't that something that was it was talked about, was having like a second stream for like tournaments and stuff like that in the
Yep, that's currently a potential thing that's happening next NASA.
Cool.
Also, yeah, for me on site, I want a Mafia area. Doesn't have to be its own room, just enough chairs so we can play some Mafia.
Yeah.
Because I've realized like last at NASA where it's like I only remember the names of people that I played Mafia with basically, and everyone else I'm just like, yeah, hey, I've seen you like 3 years in a row now, and it's like I don't even know their name because I've never played Mafia.
A Mafia thing would definitely be nifty because the first NASA we did, we had a Mafia bonus stream, and I think a lot of people were fairly entertained by that because it's a lot of people you don't know, but the people playing know each other, and it's kind of like a reality show where you're learning how everybody kind of acts and what people are capable of doing. Like, oh, that person, he just looks like really wimpy, and then you figure out that he has everybody completely fooled, and he's like the wolf or whatever. Like learning stuff about that, it's literal crack cocaine reality TV.
Yeah, and I really wish that we recorded the match in the last NASA where Blinzer and his brother, like 10 minutes, they were both town, just a town-on-town fight for 10 minutes, like screaming the whole time.
And then they just turn on Jai and they're like, Jai, I know you're a wolf. And then even Blinzer's brother was like, yeah, he's definitely a wolf. And then he was. Like, he was actually Mafia. They both just simultaneously turned on him. With, like, no logic at all. Like, it was completely, like, circular.
Blinzer is just amazing at those types of games. He's so good. I think, actually...
Well, he's good at, like, creating conversation, but he doesn't always get the right read. But he's pretty good for it.
But after NASA, there was a bit of a Mafia thing going on, and him and other people... I unfortunately can't remember their names. I think Taylor was one of them. But they were on like Mafia streams, and Blinzer managed to completely take the first game from everybody. It was the survive the island scenario, and he managed to win that whole scenario. It was just crazy.
He's good at that shit.
So not to turn my topic into Mafia like we do every NASA into Mafia. Yeah, so genuinely, like, what else, though? Can anyone think of any other kind of stuff or specific kinds of panels or tournaments that would be the most interesting to see?
Both ESA and NASA, he brought a bunch of board games, some of which are, like, actually surprisingly fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Some of those might be worth watching.
One thing that GDQs and other cons do is they have arcade.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think last GDQ, I spent all my time in the arcade.
Yeah.
And pinball. Pinball is really fun too.
Like arcade has removed casual room from the equation.
Yeah.
Like I used to live in the casual room, now I live in the arcade.
It's also crazy when they get the Ju-Beat machine because there's just a literal line to play that game.
I don't know how we would even go about organizing that though.
That's another thing where it's like
money.
I don't know if NASA we could do that because we have the population.
You could have a party game room
if we had enough TVs. Because, for example, if I were just to invite TGM crew, so for example, like me, Color Thief, Aperture Grills, Kevin DDR, just a couple people like that, and everybody brings a super gun, and everybody brings their arcade games. You could control sticks. I can have a little arcade area set up. It's not going to be on actual arcade cabinets, but you'll have nice arcade sticks and buttons. You'll have video on like decent CRTs, so I can have arcade games playable. But I guess
I feel like that's asking a lot of
it is a lot because you said
guns
there's
and-
so much
and
equipment that
sticks.
you actually have to get in.
And then like trusting like these greasy ass nerds not to fuck it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what
Because
I'd be
everything's
worried
out in the open. GDQ has it nice that they just go and have whatever company bring their crap. I mean,
Yeah.
that could be possible if we continue to stay in the Toronto area of NASA, because there is Palladium, where you can rent probably a bunch of arcade cabinets that they have. But considering the budget at the moment with NASA, I don't even think that's feasible.
No. I mean, maybe if the event
if
grows.
If we get affiliate or partner and somehow get a shit ton of subs, we can make it happen.
Yo, just get Toy Rat Games to sponsor us, and then they'll just like bring all the shit from Milton up to where we are in Ontario, and boom, man, no problem.
Yeah, I don't think the guy in Toy Rat's gonna go for that.
Nah, I'll tweet him. It'll be easy, man.
No. I've been there a couple times. A lot of things in that store aren't even available for sale. Like there was a guy and he just wanted to buy a Super Nintendo box because it was in like pristine condition, and the guy was like, "No, it's for the store." Because if you think about it, the store has to look like it has quality stuff, right? You want pristine boxes and stuff like that because it gives the feel of the store. There's always a couple items that you're just going to keep there for the show, not necessarily to buy. So.
Yeah, that fool has like 20 special edition Xboxes in the back, man. Crazy.
Oh, another thing, we could do like a music stream, because I asked on, apparently like 2/3 of the people play an instrument. That might be another thing we could have
Blenzer
on the
actually
side.
mentioned that he busks in Toronto during the summer. He could have basically the whole band over, and they could just play video game music. Full on a concert.
That'd be pretty cool.
Any
Honestly,
other?
I would like some IRL shit, like some IRL streams for like secondary shit to show what people are doing when they're not at the actual venue.
Like
That'd be interesting.
to spoil some things for this NASA, a potential hotel that we're looking at has a bowling alley. Would people be interested in watching like a bowling tournament?
Bowling tournament.
I did not. What? Okay, what? This is
You
new to
didn't
me.
know
I
this?
didn't hear about
What
this.
the fuck, Naglaria?
Yeah,
We're just now hearing this shit.
You've been in every single meeting about this.
I guess I was just so focused on prices and like square feet and shit that I just
Dude,
droned
the
out.
hotel has a bowling alley attached into it, which they just
wow.
recently added a little arcade.
Drunk
On
bowling,
Wednesdays,
baby.
the bowling alley has all-you-can-eat chicken wings.
Oh my god.
Question:
Oh, shit, this sounds pretty good.
Is this bowling alley
There's more.
24/7 or does it close at like 9?
It closes at like midnight.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's
in addition to that, there's also like 2 restaurants plus a roof bar.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Plus, there's
Yeah.
just like so much food around the area. But I mean, would people be interested in casual stuff like that? Like,
Yes.
if somebody
Absolutely.
just
I mean,
periscopes
there's the
bowling
pinball stream that on the GDQs have. I don't know if anyone watches that, but
Pinball
it's
Joe.
a couple
there.
hundred people always watch it.
Yeah. I mean,
We
like
can- we would-
people will watch anything. I'd watch bowling.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I wouldn't periscope that shit. I mean, like, why would you?
Well, I mean,
Nice
That
and
was a
cool,
cat.
dude.
That was a cat.
Can we get
Um,
that on camera?
But I wouldn't periscope that shit. Just take a laptop in the bowling alley and hook a fucking
Yeah.
hook that webcam to it, like
That
and
webcam.
fucking
that
Yeah.
could work, yeah.
you know.
But I mean, if
Like-
people are down to have a second stream of just more casual stuff that's going on around it, I think it'd be awesome to set up. Because
Yeah.
the reason people go to big events is not for the stream. Actually, they go to hang out with people and do fun stuff outside of the stream room.
Yep. So yeah, I mean that's the whole point of me bringing this topic.
I think tournaments are a must. I mean,
Yeah.
tournaments at GDQs are usually just handled by whoever. Like, there's really is no organization. There's just like first come, first serve. Whoever wants to have a tournament, put your time on the door, and that's when it is.
Can you
Like-
bring the Evil Zone tournament to NASA?
I mean, there's a possibility.
If you come, I will give you a capture card and a laptop, and you can stream an Evil Zone tournament to the second channel.
Dude, I would love a bowling tournament so I could kick Jabro's ass in bowling live on stream. That fucking
Yeah.
pussy.
Or what's the PlayStation one, like Ergeis?
Ergies, God bless.
Oh
the
yeah,
land.
that square
Aries.
fighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like scavenger hunts too. Those are fun.
Scavenger hunts.
Oh
could be
shit,
good.
yeah, it'd be cool. Like find the some guy named Tim Hortons thing.
Yeah. I actually had an idea with it. I don't think we ever talked about with anyone, but I had this idea for a video, like a speedrun scavenger hunt, where you gave this like lineup of games to a team of 4, and each person had to like do a specific thing in each game. and whichever team did it quickest won the scavenger hunt, and you get like a little prize or something.
Sort of like a multi-game bingo with
Yeah.
people who
Yeah.
are familiar with it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and you would test out these games ahead of time to make sure, okay, well, it's reasonable that a human being who plays video games could do this in, not a week.
A multi-game
Shrek Super
bingo
Party
team
Tournament.
base could be really cool.
Niglaria, you might remember this because you were probably there, but what GDQ was it where there was just like there was an event someone organized where they just got teams together and they just said speedrun this game.
2013, Flicky, and it was Super Cop, Time Cop, Future Cop,
something like that.
I was part of that. I barely played it, but my teammate Foot Big Mike did, and he played it like one of the most. Flicky even got like little trophies and shit for it. That was
like
fun.
that stuff is really cool. I don't see why that doesn't happen more often.
Actually, thinking about more cool stuff, whenever in the GDQ rooms or in the casual room, when it just gets taken over by like 30 people trying to blind race a game, that would be really cool to see.
Or race. Like, in the practice room, there's a big problem at GDQ.
I guess,
like, Link to the Past or SM or like the really big like
Super Mario Sunshine, the
Super Mario
person
World.
take over the fucking practice room
SMS
death race
200
every
race.
GDQ.
Yeah.
So, in this same vein of this topic, do you think that it's basically inevitable that these on-site marathons are going to just turn into straight-up speedrunning conventions?
Dude,
for all
absolutely.
intents and purposes. I mean, AGDQ
Well,
is,
that's
for
what
all
they already
intents and
sort of
purposes, yeah, a speedrunning convention. They're missing certain things, like what we've been discussing, organized tournaments, organized panels, stuff like that. But, like, I feel like, outside of charity marathons specifically, like RPG Limit Break, where they're there to raise money for charity, and, all the other stuff is ancillary. For events like NASA or, Calathon, that one's not for charity, is it?
Calathon's for charity, yeah.
Is it? Okay.
For like water.
Well, but the point that I'm getting at essentially is, like, I feel like everything's headed towards, growing it into basically conventions specifically for speedrunners.
I mean,
like,
if
they're
they
not
wanted...
going to be big, like, anime conventions or something, but you want more stuff on site than just there's a room with people speedrunning on stream and then some places you can play video games.
I think if they really wanted to go like next step, like full con mode, they would need vendors or people who offer services. Like they should have people from Yeti with shirts on site, and you can buy, and then like proceeds go.
I'm surprised they already don't.
Or how about
that's
how about
really
this?
good idea.
You have controller modders or RGB modders there. You bring your shit to them, and you pay them whatever, and they'll finagle with your hardware.
I have actually debated doing that for NASA. The only problem is I can't be controlling the stream, and I can't be modding consoles at the exact same time.
There need to be another guy.
I know people in Toronto or from Montreal who can like mod stuff. They can come down. If people want that to happen, I can try to make it happen.
Yeah, I was going to say that's definitely something that we've discussed in the past, because we were talking about vendors when we started talking about the idea of just thinking about it more like a convention. It's hard to attract vendors for an event like NASA because we're small. GDQ could probably do it if they wanted to. I honestly don't know why they haven't.
I mean, they technically already have vendors. They have those people who bring in all the CRTs and consoles. They don't technically sell anything, but they're still a vendor. They're getting their name out there. The arcade people are getting free advertising, and people get to play their games. Like, they aren't technically selling anything, but they are. I would consider them a vendor.
Yeah.
Real shit. When's the NASA shirt coming out that we can buy?
TBD.
I'm gonna say we want to have one for the next event, 2018.
Yeah.
I think we want to have more than just a shirt, but
yeah,
headbands.
If anybody has cool merch ideas, just hit us up on Twitter or Discord.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
a
next
shirt will
topic.
definitely happen.
Well, Caveman races question mark.
All right, it looks like according to our program, I got 3 minutes to hammer this out. So
do we want to start it or just?
Why don't we just take a quick intermission and then start the next topic?
All right, thanks for watching. You have to subscribe to our channel to see the next part of this podcast. Thank you.
We'll be right back, folks.
all
No,
this
you-
like
even before that, there was like a documentary on him, like back in 2013 about Doctor Disrespect. So you could watch that if you want, but Yeah, he plays a character versus half where he's just he's just a speedrunner, wholesome speedrunner,
Are
and
we
a
back
good
on
one.
yet, fellas?
We're on, yeah.
Yeah,
We're live.
Hi.
We're live. Hell yeah, boys.
He just looks like a pedophile to me, so I can't handle it.
No,
Are you
understandable.
guys talking about Truno?
His whole look, he looks
Oh,
like.
are you talking about my brother? Don't talk
Wow.
about Big Bro Channel like that.
No bully,
heck?
please.
I think it's perfect time to go into the next topic.
Yep.
Yes. According to the
Races?
doc, it's races question mark by Caveman. So, not too long ago, I saw a tweet by someone, I don't remember who, but it just showed up into my feed via likes. And it was like, back in my day, races used to be important to the speedrunning community. Now it's just like, just people grinding. And open discussion. I mean, I thought about that, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if any new runners know what Speedruns Live is at all, if there's any reason to use it.
That's a good question.
Because it seems, Speedruns Live seems mostly right. Like most of the races, I think, are like tournament randomizer, like Metroid: A Link to the Past type games.
Yeah, and like
I don't know any races beyond like diehards.
I mean,
who
isn't
just race everything.
Speedruns Live literally just a shirt that Naglaria is wearing?
Yeah, it's just a shirt that Niglaria is wearing. Like, it's an old boy shirt. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean,
proof
that
that-
used
that
to be
he's-
the
yeah.
place for
It used to be
speedrunners.
key place, and like, I remember you had to like, there was like the racing requirement you had to do just to even get on the front page, and that was like a badge of honor, and that sucked
If you
because
had
no
a
one runs my
marathon,
games.
you needed it to be on Speedruns Live, or else nobody would watch it.
You had to like race Super Meat Boy to get on Speedruns Live.
I
That's what you had
did
to do.
so many weekly blind races. So many horrible fucking NES games.
I think what we need to do is make Speedruns Live popular again by bringing back MISC as a category. Because for those who don't remember, back
Speed Guns Live.
Speed Guns Live, they would do races for preheat oven to 450 Fahrenheit, chug a 2-liter, take a shower, order a pizza, and like when it says go, you'd click order online, and then when the doorbell rings, you done. Shit like that.
Oh,
and it was
we should all race
like
that.
they purged it
right
because it was in like they wanted like just speed runs.
Oh yeah,
not like meme shit. But that shit was fun.
See, it's dead now. I think meme shit could revive it. I think Speedruns Live needs a revival.
We need MISC back.
It needs to get off of fucking IRC, first of all.
Need to bring back season 2.
Yeah, I learned Richter all bosses for that shit, and it never panned out.
Oh my god.
Yo,
I'm
real
glad I
shit.
got
More meme
whitelisted.
races. More meme races. That's how we bring
I
it
think
back.
I think the problem is just everybody who uses Speedruns Live at this point is already using it because no newbie wants to go through everything that you have to do to get into a race.
You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything to get on front page of Speedruns Live.
Yeah, not
at
anymore.
all.
You just sign up. You
But
just
I
make
mean,
an account on.
even to get into a race, how do I get into a race? Can I just like start my time? No, you got to join the
Well, you
IRC
see, you
chat.
need to get into IRC and talk to a robot.
It's not streamlined at all. It's a really, really, really awful system for anyone who wants to get into it. Anytime anyone says, "Oh, go ahead."
Well, I think it also works on Discord. They modified it so that and Live Split might have a thing for it. I think it has like you can join races. I don't know how well it works.
But you still need to go through the
really well,
registration.
Yeah,
and the Discord, I think, is only for Zelda.
Well, so I just have one thing. Can I point out, Caveman, that you were just complaining about having to play bad NES games? Like, what a fucking massive change for your life.
Look, no one ever ran my games. I had to get on the front page somehow, and blind was the only way to do it.
To be fair, I think everybody did that because there was like daily SM64 races. It didn't matter if you like were good, just get in them and you would get on front page.
Yeah.
I was part of the team already, so I didn't need to bother with that shit.
I think.
yeah, that's why he's got the shirt.
I think I got on the team because I sent Cosmo, dead naming here, a message to say, "Hey, can I join the speedrun team?" He's like, "Sure, go for it."
Well, I mean, I think that was their intention until there was just way too many people, so they had to create
the team got physically too big. That's when I never got on the team.
That's when they started making the whitelist because I remember messaging them as well and just.
You're not muted on Zoom, Mark.
Yeah, you're echoing. It sounded great. I loved hearing double lurk. I mean,
oh, that was beautiful.
I want triple lurk, please.
Honestly, the real shit. If SRL simplified the whole process of races, like that shit would be fucking used so much. But right now, it's like, who wants to download a stupid SRC client just for races. I mean,
I mean,
IRC, not SRC.
There's definitely a lot of races that do happen. Just look at speed gaming and mystery tournaments and everything else. There's a lot of races that actually happen, but it's just within the people already racing.
Yeah, I still use the actual Speedruns Live site. Like, I use the front page to find streams, but speedrun.com has that now too. So that niche
Twitch
is
made
gone.
their own front page for speedrunners with community.
Yeah, we already have our own thing.
The problem is Speedruns Live is becoming more and more irrelevant as time goes on. I mean, it was pretty irrelevant back in 2015.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue even 2014 it would still be relevant. Because back then we didn't have leaderboards, and that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like, all they had to do was say, "Hey, we can give you a leaderboard. We're gonna have." I remember seasons. I remember they were gonna revamp the whole system where races and actually reward players on a badge system. But honestly, right now, what they need to do, if they give a modicum of any shits about the site still, is they need to revamp it. They need to change how people get seen on the front page, because it's kind of irrelevant. There's people who stream on Speedruns Live, and this has been a going on issue where they'll stream just them playing games, and it's like, why are you on the page? Like, you could set that off, but people aren't going to do that. They want the most exposure, and they also need to stream.
Yeah, you gotta stream big.
I mean, I have mine set to completely off. Unless I do speedrun, then I go in and manually turn it on.
But there's some people who...
That tells you how much I speedrun.
What should be happening is, I think, it might not be the best solution, but only have people on the front page who are actually in a race at the moment.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. I think the site should stay dedicated to races and not so much streaming, just speedruns in general. If you want to find a speedrun, you can easily do that now with today's systems, with Twitch and speedrun.com, and many other sites. Like, if you want to find a run, you can do it. You can put the effort in. It's not that hard. But
races are still popular. Like, the speed gaming channel's doing pretty well. I watched the Symphony of the Night relay race the other night.
That was really fun.
That was a blast and a half. So that's what got me thinking. Like I'm never super into races, but I think they could take a bigger role in speedrunning community at large if people really gave a shit.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we're gonna start using that Speed Souls channel for now that it exists and has followers is literally we're gonna just start streaming our weekly community race, probably at some point. The community already does a big race every Saturday at the exact same time every week. So racing is super popular, and tons of people watch them do the race. So SRL has a place. They're just not doing anything about it.
What I think SRL needs to do, or someone needs to do to make races more popular, is they need to get rid of this IRC Discord kind of mechanic, and it needs to be its own client, something you could download off of Steam or something like that you log into and do it that way. Make your own little client system.
I think the live split devs might be able to code something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I race with my friends at this point, if it's not for a tournament race and I have to use IRC, we're just let's just get in Discord and 3, 2, 1, go.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm gonna race with friends, I won't even bother to use SRL. I'll just say, hey, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
The client system should just make it as easy as possible to just get in a race, start it, and just just work the same way as SRL.
Like a synced time, like a live split synced timer that would have a countdown.
Yeah, that'd be
pretty
better.
cool.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt to always go through IRC.
Because it's definitely possible if you look at Speed Control, which is the tool that GDQ and ESA uses. It has a timer on the web page, and anybody who looks at the dashboard for controlling the layouts sees the timer. So the only thing somebody has to do is take that technology, combine it with everybody having their own personalized split button, and there you go. Create room, join room. There's a timer. Everybody check marks if they're ready. It starts, and then you split yourself, and done.
Yeah, I mentioned in chat. Who actually who's working on Speedruns Live? I have no idea.
That's another question.
I have no idea.
Active developers of Speedruns Lives.
Because I remember back when it was Giano and Cosmo. Where it was they had those, the Jope crew.
Yeah, they probably have a skeleton crew of people working on Speedrun.
I mean, they have
so
mods
dedicated.
for just doing races, but actual development I don't think exists.
They just bash their head on a keyboard pretty much at this point.
I mean, it might as well be that.
And the keyboard's like broken now.
But I think something like that would be definitely super awesome to have. Have the front page be that where all you see is the game is being raced and you click the room and you get to watch everybody racing like they already do, just with less clicks, so it's more accessible.
Well, I mean, then you're talking about having an app that you download that also plays video. It's basically an embedded, like an on-desktop Twitch player at that point.
LiveSplit can do that.
That's not bad.
We need.
They
we
just
need
embed
to
multi-Twitch.
LiveSplit, yeah.
They need to do.
I mean, there's a
something.
lot of solutions. You can have it be only a website. You can have it be an offline app.
I guess yeah. The issue is just someone's got to do it.
And like, who wants to do that for free? Like, be honest.
Yeah, you have to get
Nobody.
paid for that. No one wants.
Imagine
to work
getting
on a dead
paid
site.
for your work. What a sellout, dude.
It's all about that exposure, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm the guy who revived SRL.
Yay.
So next topic: CFB, splicing and randomizers.
Oh
I
boy.
went over randomizers. I just wanted to. I didn't know I was gonna have to actually like go into this. I just figured, we could talk about like splicing as a
Well, that
topic
was like
point
no, like,
because,
yeah,
like,
it was
the
your
big.
chosen topic.
Yeah,
Raise your
the
hand
big-
if
You wanna
you've
talk
ever
about it
spliced or
yourself.
run.
No, that's
I mean,
fine. No,
We got
big
we got
thing.
options.
No, the big thing is obviously like recently EXO got completely exposed, like super big old boy. Everybody like quote unquote
Boy, yeah.
god gamer,
Yeah.
like amazing times in every game, and then it comes out that like basically all of his runs are segmented.
Oh,
And
that shit
from
was
the, like,
crazy,
recording
man.
glitch
Seeing that
thing.
page, I was like, fuck.
Something
I
about
just
the way
wanna-
that he recorded the way.
Is this
where he,
yeah
like,
about how it's
stops
like
and-
his computer could only
Yeah.
That's
record for so long.
that's such bullshit. How can you stream but then not have the ability to record?
Well, the
This
issue
comes-
is like even if you take his word for it, where it's like he did these segments all in a row, it's still not an RTA.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
It's technically not an RTA, so it's like it wouldn't count.
And he wasn't
Just like
upfront
he-
about it. That was pretty much the
Yeah,
biggest
he
thing.
hit-
was just
kept
I
his
think
head.
one of the like really funny parts as well is people were starting to dig up SDA forum posts, and he was complaining about how people are doing things to remove RNG or and his efforts of like trying to play it all in one go are wrecked.
Hours of RNG
Yeah.
of luck manipulation.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Although yeah, like luck manipulation back then was just, oh, if I didn't get good luck, I reset it.
yeah.
Like it's not actually in Super Meat Boy. It's not actually because it's mainly around the worm boss where we wanted to jump in the saws, which is total bullshit. But that's what it is. I wish we had WQ as a host because he could really go
Yeah.
ham on this topic.
Yeah, no, we
Splicing.
can save it for when he's a guest on the podcast if you want.
Just save splicing for another time.
That would definitely be an interesting discussion.
I'm gonna say it's like some guests we could have like dedicated hosts where it's like me and CFB. I think we want to host that.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude.
On that WQ as a guest episode whenever it happens.
WQ Army, WQ family, let's go, boy.
Just shout outs to the WQ fam. We got WQ Army here. I guess that was too hardcore. I need to think like Keith Apicary.
Keith Apicary would be epic to have.
Well, that's WQ.
But like the
It's
actual
the
Keith
first-
Apicary.
Yo, and we could have C7 on the splicing episode, C7 Meteors, because he spliced his 208 in Jet Set Radio Future, so he knows what's up on that.
Oh, nice. Can we invite splicers in general and then get their hot
Yeah,
take
can
on
you
this?
just have
Yeah, get 'em all
splicers
in
be the
here.
guest?
Yeah, let's get Downtime Def on here.
Like, instead of just like asking their opinion, just expose them and bully them on the podcast lately.
Hell yeah, that's a great idea.
I'm down.
Because reminder, splicing is really scummy, and if you're in
morally
Exo's, I just want to add, like, this comes full circle because in Exo's pastebin, I didn't read it all because you're fucked if I'm gonna read a pastebin that's more than 200 characters. He wrote at the end of it that he couldn't. The reason the quality was such an issue for him is because he's like, well, I can't. I didn't have a captured card, and this goes back to like the whole quality issue we had earlier. I'm just gonna add in that it's kind of bullshit if you couldn't afford an Easy Cap or a Dazzle back in 2012. And to be fair, an SDA, you could still get a Dazzle. You could still you could use fraps, and even if your system was really low end, you could use a shitty phone.
Yeah.
But that being said, a Dazzle back then was like $20 on Amazon, and if you can't afford that, then why spend money in your hobby?
Yeah,
As my
fuck
boy,
poor people.
Like Super Meat Boy already costs that much.
yeah, like you really don't have an excuse if you can't afford something like a capture card. Then you really shouldn't speedrun, honestly.
Yeah,
Honestly,
you should work overtime or something, man.
And it looks like Laz is going to be a dedicated host for if Goose is on an episode as a guest.
Absolutely, I'm gonna me and Goose have a lot to talk about because me
Goose
and
is
Goose,
our boy.
he is my boy.
He president. Oof.
Listen, if you're poor, don't speedrun. Just stay out of the hobby. Like I'm being kind of sincere and I'm being joking, but a little bit more sincere because like when I got into speedrunning, I started with XSplit. And I had to pay that, right? Because a lot of people are like, well, why are you using XSplit when OBS is an option? Because, well, I used XSplit, I prefer it. And I paid money for XSplit, I paid for Dazzle, I paid for my Elgato, I paid for all the equipment and all the games and all the things I want with my own money. If you can't afford to buy the equipment you need for your hobby, that tells me, one, you're really in a shitty situation. You really should just wait before you start posting runs and be like, oh, well, I gotta complain because I can't post my runs. Or better yet, you use the money you save up and just buy something cheap, an alternative. Or you could just go on a forum. Go on SDA. They used to sell. People were selling cap cards. They were like, hey man, I got a cap card or this Ease cap I'm selling. If you want it, just hit me up. I'll send it to you.
Or you could literally just ask Nate. I remember at HQ 2012, Nate didn't attend, but he gave like Shiptoyama like a box like 3x3x3 that was just full of Easy Caps, and he was like, "Yeah, if anyone wants one, take it, go for it."
Yeah, Easy Caps sucked ass, but they got the job done.
It was like it wasn't the knockoff. Like Nate had like a shit ton of like the good ones.
Oh, nice.
Like great, but they, it was good enough quality.
Nah, like
he probably still has some. You could just ask him if you want one of those.
I'm gonna let Laz go before I say what I want to say.
Oh, I just wanted to say, like, if you can't afford a cap card, then maybe you should just take a step back and, like, you can practice offline. There's nothing wrong with that, but you shouldn't seriously submit unless you have video footage. I'm not gonna say you have to stream at 1080. Like, that's bullshit. You don't need to stream in high quality as long as it's visible.
Would you accept video footage that's like a webcam?
I mean, if it's a decent webcam and it's not like pixelated all shit, then maybe
like, you can tell, like you can see what's going on in the game.
Because like,
if all visual cues are there, then I would say yes, absolutely. If I can see what you're doing, and I can see every bit of the game without any distortion or any like glare or pixelation, absolutely, yeah, you can submit it. It doesn't have to be 1080. Like you can use a webcam, but the problem is like. The problem is it has to be at least good enough where I can see it. If I can't see it, you need to either get a new webcam or just wait it out. Wait it out, save some money, get the equipment. It's really not that hard.
Job and buy a fucking capture card.
I'm just gonna bring up a real example of this with Pokemon Puzzle League. FFR Pro, who is very good at, because with puzzle games, it's not where it's like other games where speedrunning, you're specifically trying to beat the game as fast as possible. With puzzle games, you can just get innately very good by just playing them. So when you learn that, oh, there's a speedrun of a puzzle game, and you're already very good at the game, it's very easy to come in and kind of steal the show as being like a newcomer that's really good and can only get better. FFR, when he first got into showing what he's actually capable of in Pokemon Puzzle League, he literally just had an iPad on like a table and filmed his TV. But the quality was good enough that we could see, holy crap, this guy's amazing. And then a couple months down the road, he has himself a capture card, and now he has like actual capture for when he world records and stuff like that. But to get into like the community is like, hey, this is how I play. Webcam, iPad, camera, whatever, should be more than acceptable as long as you can actually see things. But if you're gonna heavily invest into like, I'm gonna be grinding this game every single day because I want world record, what are you doing with your life if you're not getting a capture card?
Yeah, I mean, in general, to be fair, I would say it's even easier now these days to get a cap card. Like, it's super cheap. There's that's why I chuckled at the post regarding EXO and how, who was it, Tally or Tal, whatever the dumb name was, made a post that not everyone can afford a cap card, and that's such a bullshit statement that really, if your argument is I cannot afford this capture card, then you have to step back and say, what did I just say? That makes no sense. Especially since Meat Boy is so accessible on a lot of platforms. Hell, even on PC. If well, I'm assuming EXO did his runs on Xbox, correct?
I think so.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so if he did his runs on Xbox, he could easily opt out and say, okay, well, if I can't stream the Xbox version, I can do the PC version. Meat Boy is not a demanding game. OBS is not a demanding program. You could absolutely do that. Oh, I'm sorry, OBS wasn't back out then. So I guess technically, what would be the software? I guess Fraps. Fraps, or you could
Flash
use
Media Live
Bandicam.
Encoder.
Honestly, I think
that's true.
That's
unregistered Hypercam 2.
Yeah.
I honestly think XSplit was out when he got his run.
Really,
like the
was
free
it?
Version. Yeah.
Wow, that's super old boy for me. I don't remember that. If
I
that's
have
the
to check
case,
the
then
date, but I think it was like.
Actually,
the no capture card excuse is just like bullshit. That's
To me,
what
it's like if you're saying you can't afford it, that's either saying it's like I got bigger problems to worry about, or I'm just cheap.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, it's like
because I 100% understand being cheap.
Like here's the thing: if a new runner, like you start from scratch, the capture card is going to be the absolute cheapest thing you need to buy. If you just get a Dazzle, the console, the game, the fucking computer, that's going to cost a bit more than a Dazzle.
Oh my god! Imagine just buying a retro console and not finding a decent retro console, even a CRT. Oh my god! Good luck. Like there's
if you went to all of those steps and then you were money gapped by a Dazzle, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just the idea that a capture card would be too expensive for someone to record their runs is just mind blowing, because that's like being like, oh, I want to play Tournament Magic, but I don't want to shell out for a deck, or like I want to play Warhammer, but I'm not gonna pay for the models. I'm gonna fucking like just use little like counters or something. Like that's
play
that
the Steam
thing.
version.
It's like
I said, I
like
100% understand being cheap.
Yeah.
I think, well, the problem is now in today's society, or at least with gaming, there's so many options. You have so many emulators out there. Obviously, you don't use them to run, but you have a lot of options in terms of playing a game and streaming it. You have cheap consoles. You have PC gaming, especially if your game is PC, which if you're not playing a PC speedrun, don't talk to me. You're subhuman. Sorry, no shots fired at my boy Caveman, of course.
I run like 4 PC games.
What the heck? I didn't know that. I thought you were just a PlayStation boy.
I invented Morrowind, I'll have you know.
I thought that was albino. My bad. But yeah, that's my last point. I think it's a cop out. I think EXO could have done a lot better with the situation. I think his pace bend was really shallow for how long it was, and I think hopefully we see more people big shout outs, by the way, to the Super Meat Boy community for exposing him.
Yeah,
because
that
was epic.
Yeah, that was incredible. Like I hope there's people who actually in their speed communities sit down and say, okay, we need to actually like go through these runs frame by frame and just expose them. Take them all out. Get all the splicers out. If I see one splicer, done, kid.
Like, I hope someday I can ass blast someone that hard.
I wish.
Which actually, I remember asking, it's like, we should, like, as an experiment, be like, all right, here's like 10 runs, 5 are fake, 5 are real. It's like, can you figure it out? It's like an actual, like, proper verification, because most of, like, speedrun.com or, like, SDA, it's just a rubber stamp. We're just like, yeah, it's good, but we're like, I don't know how many people actually, like, I sure as shit don't, like, check frame by frame or load anything in a spectrograph or shit like that.
That would actually.
I mean, at what point? There's gonna obviously be a point where splicing is just gonna be undetectable.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
In all seriousness.
Sure.
Like, what is stopping anybody from knowing the insides and outs of the game and then just splicing a run because they actually understand frame rules and everything else now?
If they if they're able to perfectly splice runs, then I'd say it's like in cases where people are like have suspicious runs, like if they ever go to a live event, it'd be like, can you replicate the skill live would be the best.
I mean, and that has happened at GDQs with Halo.
That's
Cody Miller.
Classic Cody Miller.
Legend.
So, although, yeah, actually, EXO in this regard, he has performed at live events, and he was good. So he's not like shit at games. And in the case of EXO, it's like he apparently can play games well.
The thing is you have to be good at a game to make a good splice, because otherwise you're not going to know what a run actually looks like.
Yeah. Well, so George jokingly said something, I think it was George, earlier in chat, saying everyone has to have a data path and stream 1080p 60 FPS. If you use a desktop to stream, there's honestly no excuse to not get a data path off of eBay. Like,
no, honestly, I say there's a very good excuse for not getting one. The fact that nobody knows how to use them, and I am tired of trying to explain people how to use them.
So
the problem with the data path capture card is that they're invented for broadcasting and medical. And when you buy one, the reason they cost a couple $100 is for the ability to go, yo, data path, nothing works. Come help me out, bro. That's the reason people buy brand new data paths. And for like professionals, they get that 24/7 support. Hey, this capture doesn't work with whatever signal I'm dealing with here right now. How do I get this working? Which is the only reason that the data path can actually capture retro RGB to begin with. It's because a guy called Muff shipped a Tetris arcade game in a pizza box to data path in the UK because they said it would support X resolution and it didn't. That's the only reason why it even works to begin with. And it's not a plug-and-play solution. First off, you need to have RGB, which if tell anybody to go grab RGB, they'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? Do you just mean like the yellow cord that I have right now? And you're going to be like, no, because that's awful. Do you mean S-Video? No, I don't even mean that. Okay, I play NES games. All right, now you're going to have to mod your console. What do you mean mod my console? You're going to have to pump a couple $100 into your console. All right, now what do I do? Okay, now you're going to have to actually display that somehow. You have this option, this option, this option, this option. Which one do you want to pick? All right, now you need to actually split that somehow. You have this option and this option, this option, this option. Now you actually have to capture it with the data path. Oh, guess what? You plug that shit in, it doesn't work right off the bat. You actually have to start by learning video signals properly. So no, nobody buy data path unless you are an actual enthusiast.
Can I just say
the other option is you get an OSSC. Pump another couple $100 into your thing because you don't actually know what you're doing. People should only grab a data path
ahead of time
actually know what they want to do or have the time and effort.
There's a really easy solution to a lot of these problems, which is consolidating the information to begin with. B, if you're like me and you mostly stream things that use HDMI or component naturally, then a data path is basically a plug-and-play solution because none of my stuff that uses component and none of my HDMI stuff has ever needed any real tweaking to look way better than all of my friends' Elgato's.
And that's the thing. It will look a lot better out of the box with standard stuff, but it can look even better because it's really a card meant for enthusiasts. Like, people are like, I'm going to dial in pixel perfect on my OSSC. You do that with a data path because they work on the same thing. And the thing is, this is what happens when it comes, and this is really what happens like in speedrunning. Oh, everybody go grab a Dazzle. They're the best capture card ever. And then you have a bunch of threads. Why doesn't my audio work with my Dazzle? Why doesn't my Dazzle work with this? Oh, you need to use this now to get your audio. You're going to have to buy splitters and go into the line in on your computer to actually grab your audio because these cards actually suck. All right, well, what should I buy? You should buy an easy cap. Everybody goes buys an easy caps. How come my easy caps suck? Well, because there's actually Chinese clones, and then there's proper ones that actually work. You need to make sure you grab them from this and this seller. All right, cool. Like, what happens is once you start diving in to anything, you will actually learn what is good and what is not good.
So can I ask you a question?
This sounds like a major opinion to me.
It is a major opinion. It sounds very much like a major opinion. But can I ask you a genuine question?
You can ask a genuine question.
Why would I buy a $150 whatever the fuck Elgato AverMedia internal HD cap card when I could buy a data path that will look better out of the box without me having to deal with any of that shit to begin with for $80 to $110 on eBay?
Because
like, why would I want to do that?
DataPath doesn't have pass-through and it doesn't do audio. First question when people buy DataPath, where's my audio? Dude, you have to split that audio. How am I supposed to get audio out of my HDMI devices? Well, now you're going to have to buy a splitter and you're going to have to buy an audio extractor. Well, which one do I buy? Which ones are actually good? Or you just buy the Elgato. Plug, plug, plug. Done.
Sure.
The reason it's a plug-and-play solution. If you here's the thing with an Elgato, you're paying for the ability to be able to just plug shit in and have it work. If you're going with anything else, you're saving money for the fact that you need to actually do work. It's like literally everything. Sure, I could either pay some dude to make my fence in my backyard, or I could go to Home Depot and buy the lumber and do the fence myself. I'm going to save a couple $100 by saving on labor right there. But you actually have to know how to make the fence to begin with. It literally applies to everything. That's why capture cards like that exist.
And that's why I used a Dazzle.
I asked these specific questions after you started ranting because I just wanted to then point out that you swore you would never use an Elgato again after DreamHack.
Yeah, I will never use an Elgato again. That's me. I will personally never use an Elgato capture card because my experience with running DreamHack Montreal is that they were absolutely awful to use. Maybe it's gotten better, but I don't care because I now have my DataPath capture card and I've spent hours and hours and hours of man hours to get everything perfect. And when people have issues with those cards, I'm one of the people that they have to... Unfortunately, they tag Edenal because they think Edenal owns the data path, and then Edenal goes, no, you need to bug Dark Ares because he actually has the capture card. But that's because I have pumped in so much effort into actually having it look proper. Yep. And that's the only reason those things work. If there was no consolidation of, for example, me talking with Muff or Oasis or the few people who actually had them to begin with, nobody would still be buying them and everybody would be returning them right back. It's only the only reason people are not using them even now is because the OSSC exists, which means you can plug it in and then you can plug the OSSC into the data path because the data path is one of the only devices that will actually take whatever it spits out because the OSSC is also not a consumer-friendly plug-and-play device. And you will get some sort of jank result that looks better than 95% of Twitch, but it is like absolute garbage. It's kind of like when you're at a home and then everything in your home works, all the electrical outlets, and then you have an electrician come in because there's that one outlet that doesn't work properly, and then they open up your panel and they're like, how is this house even working?
I have one of those up there in Aglaria.
Yeah. So that's basically that's all it is. The reason everything works is because some person has found out one thing that works and then tells everybody else. That's the reason everybody got a Dazzle. It's the reason everybody got everything else.
You're not wrong.
Yo, Aries, why can't I get game audio through my Dazzle? Could you please answer that real quick?
I can. It's because you need to either A, tell Dazzle to fix their drivers, or B, bypass it, or C, go get a different capture card.
Hold on. On a completely other note, can we just all agree that Amarek is the biggest prank ever played on the speedrunning community?
True Amarek.
It doesn't do anything. You don't need. If you use Amarek, stop. You don't need to use it. It does nothing.
Here's the thing. Amarek made sense because here's what Amarek is supposed to do, and places like Digital Foundry actually use Amarek because what happens is you pump a capture in it, and you can get a nice lossless capture. And since places like Digital Foundry actually do use data path capture cards because they actually buy them new and can bug support all the time for, hey, why doesn't this capture work? how can I get this working? They have a nice, raw, best pixel perfect capture that you can absolutely get, and then they can open up their screenshots in Paint and start counting pixels and go, this game is only 900p and it only runs at X frames per second, because they have the money and the funds and the ability to do that. And Amarek lets them do that. When SDA used to be about top video quality, that's what you would have to do. You would use your crappy capture and feed it into Amarek so you could get a at least decent capture from your crappy capture. Everybody streams to Twitch now directly. There is none of this, oh, I'm going to have a raw capture of just the speed run with only the game audio so you can just watch it and just be amazed. There's literally none of that anymore. The reason you watch a speed run half the time is because you want to hear that person and their opinions and how they react when they get tricked. So Amarek is literally useless.
I like that jump.
On the NASA YouTube, we need to have like weekly Dark Aries ranting video.
I have debated doing this. I have been trying to work on tech videos for months, and you know this
has just been
piling up on them. No, because it wasn't months. Me and you discussed starting a streaming tech thing onto the channel after NASA won.
I still stand by the fact that that can be translated into months.
It can be, that's true, but in reality, it's years.
But yes, it's been a while, and it's because I can't get the quality of what I would like. People are honestly probably gonna like clip this rant and be like, "This is amazing," and I'm gonna be like, "This is shit." This is just me talking. Well, this shows absolutely
this doesn't actually have any information in it.
Also, we have less than a minute.
Just 1 minute, boys.
Reset the thing. So, chat selected topics is next. So, if any of you in chat has some hot topics you want us to talk about, type it in now.
Thanks for watching. No major opinions. See you next month.
Okay. I'm glad. So much shit to go over.
Hey, we're back. We're live. Hello.
We're live. Welcome back to No Major.
Y'all need to mute on Zoom.
I like the echoes.
Also, CFB Karua asks, "What's your thoughts on bringing in-game time back to Super Metroid?"
Like as a main thing, or I guess that's really all he asked. So really, honestly, for anyone who doesn't know, Super Metroid used to do in-game time. It only tracks to the whole minute, and then eventually people were like, "This is stupid. Let's just use real time because it's real time." And in-game time is actually kind of weird because it's not counted during certain portions of the game, and so you can actually do things that are faster in-game time but slower real time, and vice versa. So it actually affects the routing in a lot of rooms. So there's actually some people that basically like the top runners that have been RTAing the game for a while. They always like say like, oh, I'm going to do like an in-game time route and try and get like that next barrier, jump to the next in-game time whole minute versus what their RTA time is. It's definitely interesting just because it kind of breathes new life into the category because they're going for a different goal. And it also allows them to do strats that would normally be suboptimal. They now become optimal. So there's some pretty decent things you can do, but I don't think it's ever going to be like the actual new thing. It's just going to be like a side thing. It's just going to be basically like a meme category is really what it's only going to be, I think.
Dude, I love meme categories.
Yeah, meme categories on.
Myself, are randomizers overexposed at this point? I'd say like almost, just because for the speed gaming races thing, a lot of people who want to race just want to race randomizers.
It's
the A
Link to the Past randomizer show right now, basically.
Yeah, because it's like if more people wanted to race, then it would probably not be as like overexposed than it is. Because that's probably I feel like if we just if races were popular again.
I don't know.
But races are popular again. The problem is it's just one specific race that is the most popular.
Yeah, Link to the Past randomizer killed my following page because there's even like non-LTTP runners that have like gotten sucked into it. So like a lot of like JRPG runners have actually like died to it. So like my comfy like JRPG background streams, it's now just freaking Link to the Past, and I can't do it, man.
I just want to like give a moment of silence for the fact that Final Fantasy Fiesel runs are probably never going to be a thing again.
Yep.
Dude, rip.
Rest in peace.
The thing I miss most is Fiesel's webcam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. People are like nowadays, oh yeah, I'm just gonna like tune into like Crip and like fall asleep because it's just like comfy gaming. That was my comfy.
They don't know
back in the day.
Yeah,
Fiesel really playing Final Fantasy was my
Sandbag X shitting up the chat.
Easy feezy.
Ugh, comfy times.
Man, can we get a moment of silence for Bismuth dying but beating the game?
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I'll put an F in chat.
But I beat the game.
Oh, yeah. Let me get up to put an F in chat.
Thoughts on posture? Asks Soda.
Reminder to sit up straight.
My posture is great.
Don't slouch or don't lay down. It's not good for your health.
Yeah, we should all look at Laz because he's demonstrating proper posture.
It's a fun fact that if you have terrible posture, you're actually shorter. So if you can't reach that line in the roller coaster, just proper posture for a week and you're good to go.
Are you saying I'm short?
No, I'm saying that because I was short. Fun fact, if you go back onto my Twitch page, and it's only 2-3 years ago, I sounded like a 12-year-old, and I also was the height of a 12-year-old. So I know. Proper posture fixed that. Look at me now.
Oh, so
a veritable titan amongst men.
Exactly.
I think you could answer this one. Hans says, guys, I need a free video editor that can do basic stuff like placing video sources and images, transform, and rotate them.
Yo, shortcut, dude.
Windows Movie Maker.
Windows Movie Maker can do that?
Windows Movie Maker.
In all seriousness, there's a couple options. The problem is all the free options that could do that don't actually handle video formats that we use today, because a lot of them are older, and nowadays everything uses 264 encoding. So there's really going to be not much new that will actually be good. OBS is probably one of the best video editors you'll actually get nowadays.
OBS is magic. I don't know how it works.
If you want like rotates or like crops, all that stuff, you could probably do it really basically in OBS. You could, for all I care, grab Premiere Pro CS2 from Adobe's site. The problem is you need to make sure all your capture is in a video format that it can actually handle.
I pay for CP. I'm way okay with being on the Creative Cloud.
Adobe products are really good. There's a reason why they cost money, because they do everything that you want them to do. So video editing is a legit job. Nobody's going to work on a free program that's going to be amazing when all these paid programs already exist that do everything you want them to. If you want basic editing, like just chopping up your VODs, Avi Demux is pretty good. You can replace your audio tracks. Like, fun fact, all of NASA 2016, the VODs were fixed in Avi Demux because we took the audio, bumped it up in Audacity, replaced the audio in the video with Avi Demux, and kind of just chopped off the start and stops to make all the clips. I mean, that's free. That works. But for real video editing, you have to put some money into it. And it's going back to the whole thing. If you're going to try to do something, you kind of got to put a little bit of money into it.
You got to spend money to stream big. You never forget that shit, boys.
Thoughts on hydration giving wet runners advantage over less water-starved runners?
Reminder to
I
stay
think honestly, the
hydrated.
hydration
is very important.
cheating.
Yeah.
Drinking...
I don't think there should be a category split. Like, if you're not drinking water and you're at a disadvantage, like, I'm sorry.
Drinking soda is not a good substitute.
Jabro asked,
water is actually
Caveman.
using a stimulant because caffeine.
Your 6 stash.
What about it?
I don't know. Like, tell us your secret.
Hold on. A mysterious mug came into frame to make me hydrated more.
Mugman. Oh shit! I didn't know you play Cuphead.
I love Cuphead.
Yeah. What about my mustache? It's pretty good, isn't it?
How long is it taking you to grow it out? Like, how long since you've shaved?
2013.
Holy hell!
Damn.
But I trim. I don't want it to get too long because it's too hard to control and it gets expensive because you have to use more wax the bigger it is.
Yeah.
You'll have a handlebar like one of those.
This is honestly like as long as I'm willing to let it go.
Colin, thoughts on the concentration of God gamers in Finland? Well, Finland doesn't exist. It's a conspiracy.
I think Mongolia puts out a lot of good speedrunners, to be honest.
Yeah, Mongolia has been working really hard this year on the run quality.
From what I hear, there's nothing else to do in that country.
There's sauna. There's saunas. Don't forget about
saunas, that. And then you could look at some trees.
Live, boy.
Do we have any Finnish runners that can confirm this?
Noble is
in this current.
Runner ever.
I see the Cotty in the chat, but
there you go.
It's not posting.
There's just something in the water. That's all it is. They just have good water.
Snowfast, talk about how hard it is to actually run a marathon. It's easy as shit, dude.
Okay. All right. Can I just let me just step in here because Naglaria does not run a marathon. Okay. So it depends on the marathon. It very much depends on the marathon. In my opinion, literally the biggest key to running a marathon successfully is having a team that works well together. Like, that is the most important thing to the entire process. Like, I can't remember the last time that anyone in NASA got genuinely pissed off at anyone else, like, because of a disagreement or anything like that.
I got so mad at Headcrab, dude. You don't even know.
So, like, really, it's not hard as long as everyone has clearly defined roles and they really put the effort in. You know? Like, Naglaria's job is drumming up interest, it's organizing the hotels, it's signing all the contracts and stuff, and dealing with the legalese.
If you want to make a marathon, the first thing you really need to think about is what goals you want. Like, what do you actually want to do? Whereas, like, GDQs, they're a charity marathon, and they successfully raise a shit ton of money for charity. And that's, like, goal achieved. For NASA, it's like, I basically just wanted to hang out with speed friends.
Yep.
We do that. So it's like, it's achieved for me.
Yep.
So it's like, it depends what you want to do.
It does. I mean, and you, like I say, clearly defined roles. Like, he deals with all the legal stuff and the money and, like, everything like that, right? Lurk handles most of our PR, right? Dan is head tech. Like, I kind of am a mixed bag of everything, but, like, my main thing is working with other people to get content onto the channel, like, you know, Two Worlds here.
And I'm CEO of the whole fucking thing, so don't forget that.
Can we take a second just to say Lurk's cat is based as heck?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna word that.
It's based as heck.
My cat's just asleep. There.
I'm gonna shill myself out and say I will sell myself as a marathon tech consultant.
Yeah.
I will charge cheap rates.
No. We have to say it's like only when we get subscribers, and we only give support for subscribers. 24/7.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. I think
Nye, can you run a 5K right now? No. I get tired after doing like 5 push-ups.
Yo, Niglaria, let's foot race right now, dude.
Please no.
All right, from here to Tim Hortons, go.
I'd probably
It'd
win.
be a hell of a race for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you even have a Tim Hortons down there in Two Worlds?
Is Tim Hortons open?
No.
Tim Hortons is 24/7.
What? It's not in America, in New York.
What is wrong with you? To be fair, you guys at least have better coffee and donuts than us nowadays.
Each restaurant depends.
Although, to be fair, the collective people who own the Tim Hortons branded franchise stores are actually suing Tim Hortons for the fact that the coffee and donuts and everything else is really crap quality. And they're actively losing customers, quote unquote.
Donald saw. What about the Luigi's Mansion runner that got mad at Niglaria? Right, I was shitting on like he was doing a run during the
Skazi?
Fuck, what marathon was it? It was just like 2 months ago.
It was the Halloween Thriller Monster Marathon.
Yeah, Thriller. And I was just like talking the normal shit I do about how it's like the 100% in Luigi's Mansion, they still skip some things, so it's not really 100. And if you do the math, it's like there's a maximum amount of gold that you can get. And compared to what the gold that they get in the run, which is just enough for an A rank, it's like 70.1%. So I was saying that's what we should really name it. And it was just like pure shit posting. But apparently the runner was like, he doesn't take shit. So it wasn't.
Well, it turns out that he's also a mod on their leaderboards.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if he doesn't take shit, I get it.
You kind of did that whole Tropic Thunder thing, though. You don't go full retard.
Oh yeah, I definitely I exclusively do that.
Vato asked a good question in chat, or a good topic.
What? I didn't. Could you read it out?
Yeah, I gotcha. Why does it have to be so damn hard to keep track of speedrunning events since they split up across subreddits, subforums, and discords?
Because there is no such thing as a speedrunning community.
See the earlier discussion we had.
Yeah.
Earlier in this podcast, we literally went over how there needed to be an easier way to find marathons.
Yeah, Dark Aries mentioned that Paige or someone's going to make or there's working on some app or something to consolidate it. Yeah. I hope it catches on more than Hararu did.
Yeah. I hope it's easy to use and clear where you can.
I'm calling Paige out. It has to be really good now. Yeah. It's not the fact that you opened up last NASA is not going to save you if it's not very good.
Snowy said, also, is NASA going to always be in Canada now, or is there hope it'll come somewhere near the West Coast?
Well, as for the location, the big issue is like we need like equipment to do it, and like all the NASA staff who actually have equipment, they live in like the Toronto to New York area in addition there.
The two furthest away staff members are me and Niglaria. I live in Maryland, which is on the East Coast, but he's the only person on staff that lives like in the West at all.
Yeah, so I'm in Alberta, and I guess the bigger thing would be like we could host it anywhere. It's just like, are we going to have the actual equipment to do it? If you have it, then it's like great. Then like where you live is an option. Otherwise, it's like shipping that is it costs money.
It's terrible to ship. Yeah.
I would like
if you want to look at what has to be shipped, I'm gonna just point my webcam over here. So you see that little stack of stuff right there? That's a matrix and a scaler and a DVD recorder. That's not even counting that TV shelf filled with like RGB modded consoles and everything else. That doesn't even count for the fact that I have a giant Tupperware of just cables and crap right there. And
me too.
Like not even the fact that I have a desktop computer that has to be brought. Like Lurk brings his desktop computer for like the runners and everything as well, along with all of us have so much stuff. If you actually check my Twitter for last NASA, I filled my mom's whole minivan with just stuff like CRT TVs and tech and everything. That is just a lot of stuff.
The funniest part about it is that that like if you combined all of the tech from last NASA, that's not even including all of the tech that didn't get there because I didn't bring it, that we could have had available too. So like, there's just such a massive amount of stuff involved. Like, I've got this server right here. I've got 8 monitors I can bring. I've got an entire tote full of cables and random crap like that. I've got like 10 consoles, like, and it just at some point you can't really travel that far. This is why GDQ bought 2 sets of equipment and such. Like, that's why they did that, because it's just not feasible to move it back and forth every year. You know, it just doesn't work. So right now, yeah, it's probably going to be on the East Coast or near abouts the East Coast. You know,
unless someone like has equipment enough to like run one.
I will run any marathon so long the equipment is actually there.
That's the thing. If someone wants to come on and be like, hey, I've got all this equipment, do you guys want to do a West Coast NASA where you don't have to bring the equipment and you can just set it up and run it and stuff? I don't see any reason why we can't do that.
You don't even have to buy a lot of equipment. For DreamHack, which we had to due to circumstances I won't go over in this podcast, but we had to plan the tech for that marathon in about the span of 2 weeks.
It was,
or maybe a month, and I just ended up buying the Matrix that you saw there off eBay. I had to ship it to an American mailbox so it would come faster. Everything I had to buy was from Amazon, so it would show up quickly. But with things like audio and everything like that, music stores have rental. You can go and rent a 14-channel sound mixer for like, I don't know, like $15 for the week. Why would you need to buy an expensive piece of equipment when you can just go to your music store and rent things like microphones and stands and the sound mixer and cables, and you can do it for a lot cheaper. And actually, that's one of the things that because Laneru, who's basically the audio guy for NASA, my brother, he's in radio right now, and almost any radio station or production studio rent their equipment because it makes sense. You are paying a fee for it, but you can upgrade at any moment you want. Oh, I want to like downsize because we're changing studios and we don't need this much stuff. You give it back, you get a smaller one. Oh, I need a bigger one. You just get a bigger one. Oh, I'm going out into the field because we want to do like this thing where we're going to be on site because we're advertising this thing for whatever radio station. You just rent the smaller mixer and you're good to go.
Yo, hold on a second. Laneru's your brother?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I had no idea. That's pretty.
You also like I'm struggling to think of how many channels you would ever need for a marathon. Like you don't need an X32. Like you can get away with a Mackie 16.
Yeah. The mixer that my brother bought to use during NASA, I believe, was like 12 or 16 channel. The one during DreamHack was just 14 channels. Like you really don't need that many channels if you think about it, because most of them are mono. Okay, so games are stereo. You cut that in half. So even if you get like a 16, cut it in 2, you have 8 channels. I mean,
it'll end up being summed out in mono anyway. Like
you can do a 4-way race and 4 microphones with that. Like it, and a lot of them have USB output anyways. Lav mics are dirt cheap on Amazon. Like they're not the best, but these things we use, they were like, I don't know, 15, 20 Canadian, and I think they sound perfectly fine for what they are. They're battery powered, so they actually work with a mixer. Like you can do a lot of it. You don't need like super expensive stuff like I do. I just do that because that's what I do. But if you wanted to run a marathon, you could definitely do one on the cheap.
Question: was NASA formed because the founders got banned by GDQ? No, but I rarely correct. I don't go out of my way to correct people about it because I think it's funny.
No one, literally no one except Cinnamon Bun has attended a NASA is banned from GDQ. Well, and I guess Cyber, but yeah.
Well, when he attended
Cyber
NASA,
and Cinnamon Bun. Yeah, exactly. And Cyber and Cinnamon Bun are the only people that have been banned from from GDQs.
And like
Yeah.
pointed out in chat, they're not staff for NASA. They're just people who show up.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Please discuss the speedrun community meme.
Oh, I was
going
gonna finish saying something. Let me finish.
Then finish it. Yeah. Sorry.
The best thing I can say about that is me and Dark Aries just spent like 2 months busting our asses on that Speed Souls charity event. Like, we've nothing against like GDQ or charity events or whatever. Like, that shit's all cool. It's just not what we do, you know? Like, that's it.
So basically, yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
I prefer to use the term speed clicks.
ALTTP hate click.
Yeah.
Shadow governments.
Word.
I can't shadow governments. I can't claim to be a part of any shadow government.
Yeah, the Shadow Masters are not paying me to endorse Link to the Past randomizer races. But we need to have more of those races, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it for chat selected topics.
All right.
So next thing would be shittalkaspeedrun.com leaderboard. The only one we have here listed is CFB with Nier Automata.
Yeah, it just has like if you do the math, there's 108 categories on the leaderboard.
Fuck Nier Automata. The whole community is terrible. The leaderboards are shit. Who fucking thought that was a good idea? Like, honestly, like all the fucking idiots.
Dude, you're gonna like get mashed to pull ARP
Can we
from NASA.
Can we get a?
I love Mash.
You're hurting our boy here.
Mash is my boy, by the way, just so you all know. So don't shit talk my boy, please.
Mash
Mash
is our
is a
boy.
really cool dude.
I love
I had my blind altered
Mash.
beast run with him, and we had to fight to get our run on the leaderboard because apparently when it says Xbox 360, it doesn't mean Xbox 360, it means Genesis. So
That makes sense.
I guess, yeah, and like I had a criticism that I was going to bring up later, but the Sonic Adventure DX leaderboards, they had a thing where on Windows 7 the game would run at like 62 to 63 frames per second. So on Windows 10 they made a little like patch thing so it ran like Windows 7 and it'd be like, all right, now these are like equivalent. And then some of the mods are like I don't think they even ran the game at the time. They're just like, you know what? Anyone who uses that Windows 10 thing to like play like Windows 7, and we don't want that. So they made like this thing that found the in-game time that included like any like it took out loads, but also counted in cutscenes, like a weird in-game time thing that wasn't actually the in-game time. And they banned runs that didn't use that, which was not like all of the runs. Nobody used it yet because they just put it out. So all of like the best runners, they're just like, well, this is bullshit. I'm not going to deal with this. And there was except for one, like I think it was like Mr. Gage or something, and he did one run with it, and it stood for like 2 weeks. But he was like, you know what? He deleted his run, and then the second place of then, which was like the 13th place before, he was like, he put a run that was just behind his, so that like this guy who had no business being in first place was like the record, because like the mods just said they've since fixed it. Thank fuck. But it's like mods that like don't play the game. What the fuck?
I'm of two minds about that because I'm a big fan of Sad X, but like here's like you said, the mods they didn't like they're SA2B mods, and I think the major takeaway of this is that you shouldn't listen to anyone who plays SA2B.
I'm gonna word that.
It's a bad game. Don't play it.
What the fuck is a Sonic?
I'm gonna have to
It's
word
an overrated series with no good games.
Oh, okay.
When's the podcast when we talk about Sonic Center?
Next
Oh
episode.
boy,
Yeah.
we could invite like
maybe next time.
the MHC crew on for that. That'd
Can we
be
get
a
Worcester
whole-
and Mike on?
Anyway, I guess let's just go right. Like, we wanted to have a segment where we would shit talk viewer submitted runs, but that'd be like for future episodes. So next time.
So
So we got like recommendations.
submit your shitty runs
Yeah.
for the next podcast, please.
To where?
Email them to,
Where are they
celebs
submitting
for
their
free at
runs?
Good
gmail.com.
question.
Just on the Discord, NASA
Oh,
Discord.
because I guess
That's
because
gonna
all of
get
our viewers
lost.
are on that, right?
Yeah.
How about you tweet it at us?
How about you just fucking
I
get in the
think
Discord
that everybody.
and post a video?
I have an actual legit answer to this. Everybody should go to nasamarathon.com. Nigleria has an email there, which he never checks,
Oh,
and you
no.
should submit your
Oh
run.
no, it forwards to an email that I do check. So
Yeah. Like those emails on our website aren't just for show; they're actually to use. So
yes, yeah. So
you can submit your runs to Nigleria, and he will sort through them because this is his idea.
okay, is what I typed Nagleria at nasamarathon.com? That's right.
That's
I
what you
believe
typed.
so.
Okay, cool. So you can send it there. Nagleria at nasamarathon.com. So then we're going to have like a recommendations where everyone here can make like a thing you should check out. For me, it's going to be Quake 3 Defrag. You can check out like on YouTube a guy named Wesp. Made like, I'll just find the link for it. Wesp Street. Yeah, I put it in chat. Yeah, West Strafes. On the YouTube, it had the audio changed, and I'd actually recommend like finding. He has the original video on like Daily Motion or some other site, and like I'd say not only does it work as like a speedrun video, but like a short film because it's like synced and edited like fucking perfectly, and it's just real good. It has like Quake 3 physics with like rocket launchers to go faster, like the fast little light gun thing where you can like it doesn't give you much height, but it shoots really quick and you can kind of do like little short hops, grenades, and it has like all the Quake 3 like weapon movements in a bunch of levels where you're just meant to go real fucking fast. And this guy, he goes real fast.
Defrag owns.
Defrag does own. So next up, CFB.
Foon, too much for Z Block. If you don't know it, you need to know it. I mean, just I'll post it in chat.
I'm gonna word that. It's a good recommendation.
I mean, it's basically defrag, but making nerds mad.
Caveman, do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, anyone looking for a PS1 game, check out RC Helicopter. That game will blow your balls off.
Nice. I think I remember seeing you ran that, and
I wasn't ready. It was one of the hottest games I've ever played.
Do you have a link for it? Just to like.
No.
Oh. All right, Dark Aries.
Look it up.
So, my one recommendation is to go. I don't know if Feasel has put it up on YouTube yet, but I think the Twitch VOD exists. Go watch Tetris Attack Chase the Record. Shit was awesome.
It's pretty entertaining.
Dark Fox, what's up?
Think you're
Push your talk is off.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and recommend the game that I'm currently playing, which is Neo. Like, I would recommend you play this if you like action games that are kind of like Dark Souls, but also kind of like Ninja Gaiden. It's fun and kind of hard. It's not hard at all if you play with a friend, actually. It's extremely easy. It's kind of sad. But if you play on your own, it's kind of hard.
Two Worlds, aka Finger Quick, what's up?
Yo, my dudes, have I got the recommendation for you? Alright, so the other day I was at the record store, right? And I picked up some fire shit. Alright, Sailor Moon. This anime kicks ass.
Dude, you have a record store that sells anime?
Holy shit.
Great.
That's crazy.
Check it out. Check it out. It's good stuff.
It's insane, dude.
Thank you, Two Worlds. Laser Long, what's up? You got a recommendation?
Yeah, I posted a video, the format, but I'll just post it in chat. It's nothing crazy, it's just a personal little favorite of mine. There's a guy I know called aka Heon. He's a speedrunner and a glitch hunter, and if you know anything about glitches, they're fucking badass, and glitch hunters are probably one of the more cooler people to talk with and meet, like Fiddlestick and aka Kazooie and a lot of others. But I'll just go ahead and post it. It's just like a oh wait shit, I'm gonna get fucked. Just click deleted message, and you can check out the channel there. It's just a compilation of all the glitches. Like, honestly, I think there needs to be if there's ever a podcast about glitches, I'll definitely be there, because glitch hunting in general is probably one of the coolest things about speedrunning. Yeah, so check it out.
And now finally Lurk.
Yeah, I have a movie recommendation. It's called Get Out by Jordan Peele. It's really good. Suspenseful horror.
It's a hidden gem, certainly.
Post the.
I don't know if that's
IMDb
that. I don't know if
link
it's
in chat.
that hidden.
It was really good. I enjoyed
It
it.
is really good. I've seen it too.
No, shit. If you hover over it in Twitch chat, it like pulls it up. That's the movie. It was directed by so and so.
That's FFC.
Oh wow, that's next level.
No way, that's Twitch.
Yeah, Frank, your faces, dude.
And to
Anything
think,
that's-
Twitch had
anything
to
you-
break their whole site.
Anything
so
that's good
If
is
you ever
FFC.
find something good, if you ever find something good on Twitch, it's because you have FFC installed.
Okay, yeah, no,
I
like,
do have it installed. I'm just waiting for them to bring back all the functionality that Twitch broke.
yeah, no, like if you mouse over it and it hasn't loaded yet, you can see the little Z spinning. So
That's amazing. Based FFZ developers.
or
Shoutouts to all melons.
yeah,
I hope one day it gets in, man.
With damn tomato, it's never happening, dude.
All right, and now criticisms, which no one really put in the form we have. But it was like after everyone recommends something, you got like one thing to shit on.
Oh man, I feel like
I already
I already
did my
shit on
big
the-
shit on, so I'm gonna save the one I had for next
Yeah,
episode.
I already shit on the SADX leaderboards. And when I have some hot shit they want to drop,
I feel like
okay, I got a great criticism. All right, so recently I ordered a pizza and a 2-liter of Coke. Right, the pizza was pretty good, but the 2-liter, it always goes flat on like the last glass you pour, and I hate that shit.
Yeah, what's up with that? I don't get that. That when that happens to me too, I fucking hate it.
It was within like a day too, man. It was like within the window of carbonation. Like, it's stupid, man.
You know what it could be? It could be just like pre-opened.
I think I think the government is like chemtrailing the drinks, and that's.
Whoa, you better put your tinfoil hat on there, my dude. You're going in some dangerous territory.
Oh shit, you're right.
I only drink water and pure grain alcohol.
Holy shit, what
Wow,
a pure
what a
boy.
hipster over here.
Actually, I do have something to criticize, but it's not relative yet. It's mainly like so this goes back to the conversation we had with NASA and how you can make it a Barrett marathon on site. If you do my biggest criticism of the GDQs, and this will tie in with NASA, is if melee players are allowed to be in the same room as normal people, I will fucking lose my shit. So my advice to you guys at NASA: separate those boys. Put them in a fucking cage in the basement somewhere.
Separate and not equal.
Hi. They're not. You can discriminate melee
They're
players.
not
They
people.
don't-
It's in Canada. That's legal.
Oh my. Yeah. Oh, fuck. We have to respect them. We have to give them their proper.
You
pronouns.
think that's legal, but I'm gonna tell
Oh.
you that this country has some pretty messed up stuff. Just Google Jordan Peterson and then prepare to shake your head and
No, I
bang
love-
your head
I
on the
love
desk for a
JP,
couple
dude.
hours.
Oh,
love JP.
No, I love JP.
I hate
No,
Marxists.
Hey, it's
Yeah,
some
like him
cool
talking
stuff,
about
but when you
Gaussian
look at, for example, there's a free kind of like, it's the equivalent of PBS in the States. It's called TVO for Television Ontario. And he does a debate about, because there was this thing in Canada where it was going to be considered hate speech, which means that it's an illegal crime. Well, every crime's illegal, but like actual, you could get jailed and fined for this shit if you don't say proper pronouns to people. And this sparked
I
a
heard about
whole
that shit.
debate.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And there was like, if you imagine like in the States what was happening with like Trump rallies and like all the neo-Nazi crap, that was happening in Canada as well in our universities, except it was for the fact of this guy saying, I don't want to say those pronouns, it shouldn't be enforced by law. And it
As in,
sparked
like,
a whole social debate. And if you want to spend a week, because you're like, I have nothing better to do, I just need something to tide me for the week, just search up Jordan Peterson and everything around him, and and then I'll see you in a week, basically.
So
Sounds like a hoot
wait.
and a holler, man.
So if I don't use the proper pronouns for heck crab, does that mean I'm gonna get arrested for not
Didn't you go
calling
into
him?
It's not actually.
prison?
It only. I don't think it ever got past the
It only
bill
applies to
form, so
humans.
everything is all normal here. But it's,
See, in New York City, if you employ head crab, that you can actually that's against the law in New York City.
Good lord.
huh?
Anyways, we only got 2.5 minutes left. And I
Finish
think
it
we
on
want to like
something.
end it there for like actual.
Finish it on something real quick.
Go for it.
Fuck Terran players, okay?
Holy
tanks.
shit!
Wait.
Wow.
Also,
What the
my
fuck?
my criticism: this movie existing. This shouldn't exist. Whoever made this should be ashamed of themselves, and I don't want to live
Now,
on this planet.
movie was pretty good. Highly recommend this.
Why do you guys have all these shitty movies? Like, joke's on you.
Like, I don't understand. Why don't you people have good movies like Blade Runner?
I have a lot of good movies. I bought that movie for like $2 because it was shitty.
That's like 500 Canadian pesos. That's not worth it.
All right.
Laz, you got something to say?
Yeah, real quick. Anyone who plays Zerg or Protoss, you're fucking garbage. You're fucking shit at StarCraft. Don't pretend to be good because you're fucking wannabe pro-level Korean boy. If
I
you're
just want to say that if you're not playing with your feet, what are you doing with your life?
I bought StarCraft 2 to get a pet in WoW. I have not played it. Let's end the show.
Yes,
I think it's time to end this.
Yo, thank you all so much for watching the first episode of No Major Opinions, brought to you by all the NASA shit posters. We'll be back next time. Make sure to email all your fucking runs to nude slubs for free at nasamarathon.com to help make speedrunning great again. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to 8 Your Pie.
Yeah. Next time, this won't be as long because there won't be 8 people. There will be 4 and a guest.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah. Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.
All in the Family was recorded on tape before a live audience.